countertops, and then
I just gotta get us going.
And it's all lean and forward.
They're rough.
Buy the slab, or 2 or 3, and then he makes it beautiful with artistic edges, backdrops, and they also do, of course, other stones. They never mark up the stone ever.
Budget. I got a lot of spots on brakes today, guys.
What's it hooking on? Do you see it hooking on something?
Love the work they do.
There we go. Sorry, I almost hit your head.
And he's going to show you how it's done the right way. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919. And online at artofgranite.net.
Oh, man, I don't even get it. Hey, dude.
But if you think about it, the only thing you need to be concerned about is what happens in your personal account. So how has that changed in the past year? Maybe it's time to talk to Brad Jenkins, the team at Jenkins Wealth Management Group, one of our sponsors here on KHOW. As certified financial planner professionals, they can help you build a protected dream that will help protect your personal economy. Call 720-457-6840.
Okay, guys, hold up. I got a live.
And that review will be complimentary.
All right, the Centeno Schultz guys, they have a seminar coming up tonight. I want you guys to check this out. I'll give the phone number out. But if you have any kind of aches and pains or joint problems, surgery might not be needed. And what we love about Centeno Schultz is they're going to give you the straight skinny on it. So if you need maybe a rotator cuff of your knee, something's bothering you, at least go to the seminar tonight. It's in Lone Tree. It's 100% free. They do a great Q&A. In fact, Tom and I have gone numerous times. These guys really answer all the questions. A lot of times they'll take examples from people in the audience, what's going on with them. They'll talk about it in depth. The doctors will be there, and these are the guys that do the real stem cells. These are guys that actually harvest your own stem cells and then use guided injections and put them in the right place. But give them a call. Get signed up tonight, 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201, or you can check them out at avoidsurgerytoday.com.
Alexa, play KHOW Radio.
Getting 630 KPOW from iHeartRadio.
Ask for us on your Amazon or Google smart speaker.
Let's talk.
630 KHOW.
Go ahead.
This is the Troubleshooter.
God, that was quick.
Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Welcome to the show. It's the only show of its kind. And I am your host today, Mark Major, and we are here to solve problems, answer questions, take your complaints, try to make your day a little better, try to make your life a little better. And honest to God, my favorite thing is going after the scumbags. I'll put it up there. That is my favorite part of this show. In fact, it's a favorite part of my life. When people get ripped off, I take it very personally, and it doesn't matter. It could be an attorney that you think ripped you off. It could be a doctor. It could be a contractor. It could be anybody out there. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of, maybe you just want to vent about some company that you feel screwed you, that is what this show is for. And it's very easy to get involved. And here's the coolest part. We just don't yell. We just don't entertain. We get things done. Are you ready for this? $200 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, and refunds directly due to this show. And my partner, Tom Martino, that started this thing 40 years ago. Spread the word. There's nothing else like it. It's the power of the media. I'm not going to lie. When we call up, when you've had problems with a business, we generally get results. Why? Because they want to do the right thing. Now, sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, well, I don't know. Dano, Deputy Dan, would you say, well, a lot of times the consumer doesn't give us a full story. There's no doubt about that.
That happened.
But how many times would you say when we have a complaint come in about any given industry or business that the consumer is just full of crap? Period, end of story. Small percent, large percent, what would you say?
I say it's about half of it we don't get the...
It is funny how that works. You know, we had one I'm dealing with, I say off air, the guy emailed me. He bought a vehicle. He went down and bought a vehicle from a dealership. Bonnie Shields, attorney at law, listen to this. He bought a vehicle. drives his vehicle home and leaves the one he bought. He sat down, he went through financing, you know, initial here, sign here, you know this, you know that, full disclosure, blah, blah, blah. Reputable dealer. He decides he doesn't want it after 3 days. Never picked it up, never left. His contention is, listen to this, his contention is, because I didn't take possession of said vehicle, I don't own it. Well, I'm not an attorney, but I'll tell you this, he signed all the paperwork and bought it. There might be some exceptions to where maybe he could get out of that contract, but in general, he bought it. They did the financing. They've been paid by the credit union they financed him through, and he's just sitting on it. He's got a great credit score. I'm telling him it's going to end up ruining his credit. I have no doubt about it, and it drives me crazy sometimes what consumers think. What do you think about that? And he bought another vehicle. He found a different one after 3 days, same similar vehicle. Little less money, bought that. So he literally now has 2 vehicles, but one he's left at the dealership.
I think that, unless there's something in that contract that gives him the out, he shouldn't have signed the contract.
He talked to an attorney, apparently, that is saying, well, the possession, I think he's going to end up spending a lot of money with that attorney, possibly, and still have 2 car payments or still own 2 cars or go into default.
Yeah, no, he could.
He got himself in a bad position. By the way, Bonnie Shields, BonnieShieldsLaw.com. Any questions you have, family law, she is the best out there. Bonnie has been coming in and sitting in on the show for years and years. We're talking divorce, we're talking custody, pretty much anything family law. If you have any questions, Bonnie is our go-to. 303-713-8255 is the phone number here. 303 Martino, by the way, works on and off the air. And that's it. That's it. Let's get to the phones. Shawnee, you called this week or last week about
Just a few days ago, Mark.
A few days ago, so Monday, with a dog rescue, and I think it was called like 2 Blondes or something along those lines, right, Shawnee?
Yes.
And what kind of dog was it that you rescued?
It was a dog called a plot hound.
A plot hound, that's right. I remember looking at it. Then this dog, apparently, according to you, viciously attacked your dog.
Right. I had the dogs in the backyard just playing, and the dog that she attacked was actually my daughter's 2-year-old lab.
Yeah.
And I was babysitting her lab, and the dog just unprovokingly, there was no food out in the backyard, there were no toys, there were nothing.
Was this plot hound, what was the plot hound's name?
Danny.
So was Danny used to this other dog being around? When you called in the other day, I don't remember that part. I thought it attacked your dog.
No, so I have another dog that Danny has been with the whole time, the whole 8 months.
Got it.
And he's a boxer. And they're together all the time.
And they never had an issue.
Never had an issue.
Everything I read about plot hounds that day, I was kind of, surfing the internet. I mean, really, they're not very good with outside dogs. They're fine with dogs if they live with them all the time. Pretty much exactly what you're saying. So, I mean, it was somewhat expected entering a new dog into there. Now, granted, most dogs aren't going to simply attack, but these dogs, they're kind of prone to it.
Well, this dog, the lab, has actually been at my house a couple of times. And she's actually been around Danny.
Okay.
And there wasn't a problem.
Now, there was another issue you mentioned, though. The dog had worms. And your contention was the dog had worms when you got it.
Yeah. See, the problem is, so they brought up the dog from Houston, Texas, which is, as you know, a very humid place with a lot of mosquitoes. And before they adopted the dog to me, they did supposedly a heartworm test on the dog, which is a blood test.
Got it.
And the test showed negative.
Got it.
Okay, so then I get the dog a month after they bring the dog up here from Houston.
Yeah.
And I've had it for 8 months. And after this incident happened with the attacking of my other dog, I wanted to give the dog back. Well, Kelly, the owner of 2 Blondes Rescue, said in order for me to take the dog back, it has to have a heartworm test. And I said, why does it have to have a heartworm test? This is February. We don't even have mosquitoes. She's like, listen, this is my policy. It has to have a heartworm test.
I mean, that's understandable. You wanted to give the dog back, so okay, who cares? So you give the dog a heartworm test.
I go get a heartworm test, pay $50 to the vet, and the vet tells me, Shawnee, where did this dog come from? And I said, it came up from Houston. And she said, do you know how many dogs I see that come up from Texas or Mexico that actually have heartworm? A lot. She knows. She said, do you know how many I see that actually are here in Colorado, that were born here in Colorado, that have heartworm? 0.
Okay, so you think that dog had heartworm the whole time? I do. And okay, so did they take the dog back?
Pardon me?
Did they take the dog back, the rescue place?
They did, but they made me pay a $210 fee to take the dog back for them to get treatment for heartworm, which supposedly it's a 60-day treatment. They have to be on antibiotics for 30 days prior. They have to be...
So did you pay the $210?
I did.
Okay, so I guess, I mean, is that your whole deal, is you didn't want to have to...
my whole deal is, Tom, 3 days after I gave the dog back, she has this dog back up for adoption on her website immediately.
Okay.
After it attacked another dog, I'm not saying just attacked, but ripped apart.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. The pictures were pretty bad. In fact, Dan, put those pictures back up. Yeah, those pictures are horrible. She had 12 holes in her, Tom. Yeah, is the dog okay, by the way? She's getting better. I just hope that this doesn't affect her personality, because she's the sweetest lab in the world. Yeah. And, you know, it was hard for my daughter. It's been hard for all of us to witness this. So really, the only reason you're upset has nothing to do with money. The only reason is that dog is back up for adoption now. Yeah, and that's just immoral. That's just wrong. She should not legally be able to put that dog back up for adoption. Well, now, no, why? Because of the attack, or because of the worms, or both? Well, because of the attack and the worms, but obviously she's not treating the dog for worms, because the dog has to be quarantined for 60 days, and it has to get these horrible shots in its heart and all this stuff, and it's very expensive. It's like $1,500. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Kelly, with 2 Blondes All-Breed Rescue, will get her say.
Didn't they?
I don't know. I read about those dogs. They're pretty aggressive.
How many dog bites was it that they had? 12?
Did you see the pictures?
Yeah, I got them up.
What kind of a dog is it?
It's called a plot, P-L-O-T. Hound. I never have either. I read about them, though. They have, I forget what they were bred for, but they're bred for, like, attacking things. But they're pretty good. They're a good family dog.
Tonight, mostly clear overnight, and a low around 28. Right now, a few clouds above and 41. With the traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30, K-How. At Farmers Insurance, we know...
They say they were bear and raccoon hunters.
That's right.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, hold on, guys.
Dr. Farmers.
We are farmers.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchange Center affiliates. Parts not available in every state.
All right, listen to this. K&H Home Solutions, these guys are great. Right now, free triple pane glass upgrade. If you've been putting off getting new windows for any period of time, at least call and talk to these guys. You know, the other thing is they don't get insulted. Let's say you get a quote back and it's X amount. They won't get insulted if you try to beat them up a little, I promise. These guys, this time of year, want to move some windows. They have the best windows out there. They're energy efficient. You know, triple pane, what do you expect? They're beautiful. Everyone is a custom fit. They're made to K&H specs, and they're durable. These are great windows. I can't put it any other way. But this month only, March, free triple pane glass upgrades. Now, they also sell Everlast siding, so maybe you want to redo your entire exterior of your house. The Everlast is a great product, but please check these guys out. In fact, call them right now. Get a quote, beat them up, 303-421-7100, or check them out at khwindows.com.
Gotten a lot more affordable in recent months, more than ever, really, if you consider that loan limits have increased to an all-time high. And with a 10-minute call to the salary-based...
Good-looking dog.
All right, that's it for this break.
Hey guys, it's Russ.
We'll see what these people say.
So a couple of good points she's going to make. No one was around when the dogs got into the stuff to know what instigated it. The dog at the rescue now, Danny, in question, was also had wounds as well, so it wasn't just the lab that had wounds. And the fact that she had the dog for 8 months, and it was a dog she attacked that didn't live in the house.
I wonder if worms can go untreated for 8 months.
Oh, and then that's the other thing.
That's
It's been 8
question.
months.
That's the
Dan,
question.
can you use those headphones so I can chat at you?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
I do use.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were using our headphones, like over here,
No,
but no.
no.
Okay.
Bonnie, what do you want to discuss?
Let's discuss cleaning kids on your taxes.
Okay.
Who gets to do that?
You mean through a divorce?
Yeah, I'm getting lots of questions about that, and I've had to read up on the IRS rules because things have changed.
Because, well, it's tax season.
Yeah,
So the IRS changed it on that? Don't they just split it?
there is no more. You don't get to deduct your kids anymore because it's a child tax credit.
Oh, you don't get to deduct. So maybe you don't take miles.
What do you mean?
There's not a deduction for a cast? I thought it was a lower deduction for kids. But it,
No, you don't technically get like $6,300 for each dependent. You don't get that anymore.
Yeah, but don't you get child tax credit still?
Yes,
Okay.
which is different. That's better.
But only one parent can get it.
Yes.
but the tax credit, you wouldn't get them.
What do you mean? I don't qualify for them,
Right.
but a lot of people do. Actually, the income standpoint, it's pretty high for. I think
It is
tax.
pretty high.
It's like $100,000 a year, man.
Yeah.
Maybe not that high, but
No, it's even more than that.
yeah,
You
it's
could
pretty high to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a guy with your stature, you're not going to qualify for it.
Call Governor Polis and tell him to veto SB 181, 303-866-2885. Paid for by the Colorado Petroleum Council, a division of the API.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, I can recommend you no one better than Frank Duran, the real estate man, part of RE/MAX Alliance. He's proven time and time again he can often sell homes quicker and for more money than the asking price. Call Frank Duran.
If it's a raccoon dog, this dogs are tough.
The plot.
Yeah.
I read, somebody sent me a pretty good link on him from an AKA breeder, and holy moly, man. Those things, they were trained to go after stuff.
Bears and raccoons.
That's kind of I think I'd go after a raccoon before a bear. How do you teach a little dog to attack a bear?
I think they just try to corner them.
The energy industry's vitality,
You know,
gun rights, religious liberty, even your vote, giving it away to California. Can a recall
They
succeed?
gotta jump in and out. God, he's good.
Grant behind the music in there. What can I say? 303-713-8255. So Shawnee calls up, says, hey, I adopted this dog, or rescued this dog 8-9 months ago. The dog viciously attacked another dog at our house. 8-9 holes in it. We saw the pictures. The pictures are they're horribly bad. And then on top of that, the dog ended up having worms. Kelly with Two Blondes All Breed Rescue, I'm going to bring her right up, but according to Shawnee, they wanted $210, and Shawnee is under the impression that the dog had worms the whole time, and she paid for it, and she's really not complaining about that. Shawnee's complaining about this dog that attacked another dog is up for adoption right now. Hey, Kelly, first of all, we really appreciate you coming on and giving your side. So that's really great for you guys. What's going on here? What's your side to this?
So, I mean, first of all, I was contacted by your show, and the initial complaint was that we adopted her vicious dog. First of all, the dog has lived in her home in harmony with her other dog for 8 months. Yeah, and she kind of left that to be...
Shawnee did leave that out in the original call.
And Shawnee, I'll go back to you, but you did leave that out in the original call. You brought that up today, which is great, but keep going, Kelly.
So my contention with that is that obviously when you have a dog that's placed into a home, we obviously have no control over the future behavioral and somewhat of the medical needs of a dog that are placed in a home once the new owner takes control of that dog.
Yeah.
So number one, there would have been no possible way that we could have anticipated that an altercation with another dog would happen 8 months after she adopted the dog. That's just it's not reasonable, it's not possible.
And how would we even know, and I doubt this because the other dog was a lab, but I don't know this stuff, I wasn't there, but how would we know the other dog didn't instigate it?
Well, and that's part of the problem. I did forward the copy of the initial email response that we gave to Shawnee when she notified us that the altercation had occurred. And one of the very first questions that I asked was, what happened? Did you, like, what was the catalyst for this altercation? Her response to me was the dogs were unattended out in the backyard and she didn't see it. She said she had no idea, but she didn't care because the dog was vicious and the dog just had to go.
How about on the worms part real quick? Could that dog have had worms for 8 months? In other words, could the dog have had heartworm? Because I've had pets. Suzanne and I have had pets in Colorado forever. I don't even think we treat for heartworm. I don't think our vet gives shots or anything.
So we are very fortunate in Colorado that we do not have, I mean, we just don't have a high instance of it.
Yeah.
However, I mean, ourselves, all of the local rescues here, all import dogs from roughly the same overcrowded shelters from New Mexico, Texas, Arkansas. We all get our source of incoming dogs are all from the same place. Yeah, but so she's saying you guys tested the dog before she got it, so it was definitely clean. Can it be a false negative? Generally speaking, no. I mean, is anything possible? Yes, but the dog was heartworm tested by a licensed veterinarian prior to the time that she entered the state, and she was negative, and we do have the paperwork to show that. Shawnee was provided the paperwork to show that at the time she adopted the dog. Now, as part of the standard protocol, in the information that we provide out to the adopters, we tell them that it is our expectation and it is highly recommended that all dogs be placed on heartworm preventative. And almost every vet in the state of Colorado, when you go in for your annual exam with your pet, will review that with you and recommend that you put your dog on heartworm preventative. Yeah, I don't think we ever have, but that's us, so that really doesn't matter. How about the fact that this dog apparently, regardless of anything, did get into a fight with this other dog and it's back up for adoption? Does that have any red flags that you see or feel? Absolutely, but that is not the case. Now, she is listed as an available dog on our website. However, parts of what Shawnee was saying are correct, parts of it are incorrect. And I do want to back up to the $210. Sure. So, well, she said that's no longer an issue. Okay, well, I do want to tell you that she's not paying for the entire thing. We asked her to split the cost of the treatment with us. Got it. But Mark, what I would like to point out to you is that when Shawnee initially contacted us, she didn't contact the rescue. She contacted the foster home from where the dog came from. Okay. I would like to point out that that foster home has other dogs, male and female, large and small, and a child living in the home. And they never fought. No issues whatsoever. Point. Number one. Number two is that when she contacted the foster home, she immediately told the foster home that she took the dog, her adopted dog, threw it in the garage, which is where she said it was going to stay, until somebody came from our rescue to immediately remove it from her home, or she was going to have it euthanized. Oh, well, that's kind of, that's horrible. Shawnee, is that true? Did you threaten to have the dog euthanized?
I did not threaten. What I said is I was afraid that the dog would either attack me or someone else in my home, and so I wanted to keep it away from everybody else. I was concerned with getting the other dog to the vet that was squirting out blood all over my house.
How do we know the other dog didn't instigate it or start it?
Because if you were to meet this dog, Tom, this dog is the sweetest lab, and I have 50 people that'll come forward and tell you. She's never... For one thing, Danny didn't have one bite, one scratch, one nothing on her. This dog had 12 puncture holes. She had no... That is not true. Oh, she had a few scratches on her ears, which were probably from originally when you gave her to me, Kelly. How does 12 puncture holes... How do 12
Yeah, how would scratches last 8 months, though? Come on, Shawnee.
Well, scratches, Tom, opposed to... Yeah, maybe the lab was trying to fight back. But how do 12 puncture holes equal a couple scratches on the ears?
Well, I'm not saying they equal. We just don't know what started.
Shawnee, you don't know what happened in that scuffle. You have no idea what instigated that.
All I know is that that dog has been around my other dog, and there's been no problem. Scarlett comes over.
But Shawnee, that's exactly what we're saying. Maybe that other dog just being there was the problem. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's it.
Right. That shouldn't be right.
I don't think the dog should have attacked like that. I agree with you 100%. But that dog was fine in your house for a while. As far as the heartworms, I tend to agree with Shawnee because I've had numerous dogs and never had any issues with heartworms here.
I've had dogs for 40 years, and I've never treated the dogs for heartworms.
Yeah, well, I haven't either. But listen, I'm not sure where else to go with this. So, first of all, Kelly, I appreciate you coming on, and Shawnee, I mean, pretty much to me it's over. The dog is back up. I don't know, long as they're careful. Let me go back to Kelly real quick. Kelly, it's just you and I. Let me ask you this, though. Whoever adopts this dog eventually is going to know to keep other dogs away and other stuff, right? I mean, you guys go that far.
This altercation will absolutely be
on part of the record
to any potential adopter. But what I did want to explain about the $210 fee as far as what Shawnee
you said it was only half. I know.
It is. We're asking you to contribute half because what has happened here is that because of the fact that the dog was unsupervised with another dog, we had to immediately take the dog back. We actually have to quarantine this dog for 90 days. And so we are, in the meantime, we're not going to place. You know,
those things were bred. It's fine. I understand. And I believe you, Kelly. I think you guys are going to handle this properly. I really do. You know, those dogs were bred. Deputy Dan, you said to what? To raccoons and bears?
Raccoon and bear hunter, yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, these dogs have a purpose in life, and it's not probably to be a little family dog.
Again, she lived in perfect harmony with the other dog in her home with no issues for 8 months.
Yeah,
absolutely none. And she has never, ever shown any aggression towards a human.
All right. I appreciate you coming on, Kelly. I've got no issue with these guys. 2 Blondes All Breed Rescue. In fact, Suzanne, if you want to put the number up, if there's people that do want to rescue dogs. But I don't agree. I think that dog probably got heartworms outside of this state. So unless if Shawnee brought that dog out of state for any period of time to get heartworms, I definitely agree with that. All right, 303-713-8255. Jim, real quick, purchasing land. What's going on? Jim. All right, I guess I'll put Jim on hold. We'll see if he's there. Let's take a quick break. 303-713-8255.
And stuff. You said and stuff.
Mark, 1 minute, price fixer.
You know what's funny? I never realized you said that. In fact, unless if you're making some conscious effort not to, I'm not so sure you do.
I have said it. I know. What are those things? You know what's kind of funny about the
30?
Shawnee and that?
What?
8
Shawnee
months,
and stuff?
She didn't bond with that dog after 8 months.
You can ditch Shawnee.
No, most people bond with the dog pretty quickly. And she didn't bond with it 8 months. She wanted it out of there.
Oh, it's true.
As soon as it,
well, after looking at that other dog and taking shit from her daughter. Okay. Come back on when I come on and say that. I want to take... Is Jim back?
Perfect hot air balloon landing. And a less than perfect one. Secret Butters, Dr. Farmers. We are farmers.
You know, PriceFixer.com is going absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy since I've been talking about them, and here's why. They make buying a new air conditioner or furnace as simple as ordering a pizza. I can't say anything else, and you get 6 guarantees on all systems. Everything includes installation. Everything includes the lowest price guarantee and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Check it out right now. PriceFixerDenver.com. PriceFixerDenver.com.
Ever drive up to your home, put your garage tape on a remote, and have nothing happen? Take my garage door in the LiftMaster 8550 belt drive opener with a battery backup and MyKey technology.
This is, hold on. Yeah, I don't mind taking it or anything, but mine doesn't say that. Let me refresh.
Don't get locked out. Go to Inkmart.com to book an appointment and make sure to ask for the 8550 from LiftMaster.
Yeah.
Inkmart. Everything doors since 1956.
Well, that's fine, and I don't mind if we want to get Moses on to talk as well. I do. I just don't know if it's solved yet. Ask her if it's solved. Has she been out? Tell her to bring it up.
You got a dog, Bonnie?
I have two.
You want another one?
I don't mind if she brings it up.
No way.
It says, in spite of their hunting instincts, they make a good, loyal family dog that are eager to please.
Got one dog that's been living on my bedroom floor for 3 months now. He had knee surgery and then he fell and he blew 2 discs in his back and just had back surgery. Got him back 3 weeks ago. He still can't walk right and he poops inside the house all the time. He's 130 pounds, so no, right now.
What kind of dog?
It's a Bernese Mountain Dog. He's absolutely awesome. And I'm just hoping he comes back.
And I can just see that you spent some money on that dog.
And I've still got to complain to the place. The estimate, it came in $3,000 more than their highest estimate.
What's another dog one? I'm done with the dog.
I wouldn't mind this dog.
But nothing's better than Who Let the Dogs Out. Best song ever made, ever.
You're on top of it.
Oh, I know what it is. Mean, Mean Leroy Brown. Junkyard Dog. Is that it?
Is that really? That's good.
That would have been good. No, it's not Mean, Mean. Who is it? Oh, Southside's got its hustle. Lowry's got its bars. No, that's...
Lowry's got its bums.
Is that it, Bums?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I change words on purpose.
That's okay.
Do you like Jim Croce? I wish I got to see Jim Croce. He was dead before I was born.
Oh,
I won't tell you that I saw him.
No?
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of Richie Valens.
He died in the 70s. I saw him.
I was born in 72.
I saw him around 76 or 7.
Was he good?
Yeah.
Was it just him and a guitar?
Uh-huh. There's a little place in Denver called the Rainbow Music Hall.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Down on Evans, and they used to have...
You like George Thorogood?
Like I don't know much about George.
1973, he died.
Oh, okay. So, gee, I was off by 1 year.
I saw him early then.
You know, why am I always right? Now, granted...
You weren't right.
Yeah, but I was pretty much right.
No. Does yes mean no? No.
Who was Ricky? Who did the garden party? Ricky Nelson. I saw him at Rainbow Music Hall too.
Who were the Big Bopper, Valance, and who was the other guy? Oh, Buddy Holly. I love Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
Every day.
He would have been another Elvis.
Buddy Holly?
Yeah.
You think so? Was he really getting big?
Oh, jeez, yeah. He was the king of rock at the time.
All right, 303-713-8255. That's the number you need. There's no other. So did we get Jim back up?
Well, he was there.
He was there? Let me go back. Maybe I can't hear you. Jim, what's going on?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you great, man. What's your question, sir?
Great. So I run a nonprofit organization, and we entered into a land deal, and it seems as though what was explained. I signed the contract, and what was explained has not.
You signed a contract to purchase the land?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And after more due diligence, it wasn't what we were told.
What was the terms of the contract? Can you send it over, and I'm going to send it to one of our attorneys to look at. Can you do that?
I can. When can I do that?
Well, I want you to send it. I don't know when you can send it. You tell me. It's probably better for you to tell me when you can send it.
Yes, sir. I can send it over in a half hour.
That'd be great. Now, let's talk about it real quick, though. When you said you did your due diligence, was there time in the contract that said you have the opportunity to do some research on the land, or was that not there? Do you know?
That was not there, and that's why I'm trying to get proper representation. I've called.
Excellent. Now, why, just out of curiosity, before I read it, what did you find out that you don't like about this property?
We were told that there was water for what we needed to do with veterans, and there seems to be that was not true.
Now, wait a second, Jim. What do you mean by there was water? The ability to bring water in from a city? The ability to collect water from the rain? What do you mean by there was no water? Water rights where you could dig a well?
Yes, wells and a commercial well in particular.
So you can't, oh, okay, so let me guess here. You can't put in a commercial well because the city won't allow it, or what?
Well, no. That would be going to the water boards and so on, but we were told prior to this that it was there and we could get to it easily, and that is not true.
Well, okay, but define easily. I guess I'm missing it here. Is it going to cost more to bring water to the facility than you thought?
We need to identify if there is the ability to have a commercial well on the property.
Okay. Is there anywhere in the contract which you are going to send that talks about that? That there is the ability? No, there is not.
No.
That's interesting. All right, listen, when can you have that over?
In 30 minutes.
All right, get that over to us. And, Suzanne, I want to send that out to see if David Salisbury's around.
Okay.
I want him to look at that. He's very good at that stuff, by the way. I know he's our go-to for wills and stuff like that, but honestly, he does a lot of property stuff. Jim, we're going to free this line up. Hold on. I want to make sure Suzanne has all the info so we can get you back next hour.
Thank you for your support.
You got it, man. 303-713-8255. We'll have one line open in a second. Angel's got a comment on the dog adoption call.
Yes, hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Go ahead, Angel.
I was just going to say, I don't know what happened between these two ladies on the prior comment to the dog adoption, but I can't blame one. But I just want to say to people out there, be careful with all these adoption places that are popping in every neighborhood. Because a lot of them, honestly, they are more of a business than a really cost. Some of those fees are tremendously high.
Oh, yeah.
When they say that they're going to charge you only half because half covered their costs.
Oh, I bet you're right.
The other half is their profit. So just be careful because you're not really helping dogs out there when you go adopting out of all these.
Well, how would you do it, Angel? I mean, okay, so you're showing us a problem. How would you do it? If you were going to adopt a dog, where?
Pretty simple. There's people that don't want dogs, and they go and leave them at the Denver Dog Friends League.
Okay.
That's a big, reputable place that you go get it.
I agree.
You just don't go in and pick up from our house. It happened to me before.
That's where I got our last two cats. That's where we got them. Denver Dumb Friends League. I think the one in Castle Rock. But, yeah, it's exactly where we went.
Yeah, there was this family that we picked up a dog, and unfortunately my pregnant wife became allergic to, so we have to bring it back. They took it back, but they really got mad. They really got angry, and then never talked to us again. We wanted to give a try to a different dog.
No, you're right. Listen, and even if...
Just be careful.
No, and I love the advice. Thank you. And I just want to say something else about that. One line open, 303-713-8255. You know, he's absolutely right. There's some of these dog adoptions out there. Even if they're a nonprofit, it really doesn't matter. Understand, a nonprofit just means the corporation at the end of the year has no profits in it. All that money is, you know, distributed to the employees and the officers or whomever. So you can make a lot of money as an owner of a nonprofit. Just the nonprofit itself can't have money left at the end of the year. 303-713-8255. Emily, what's going on? See, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I thought I've done this long enough. Emily, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, how can we help you, Emily?
I have a company. I use a company on your referral list.
Yes.
I just love.
Who?
Excel Roofing.
Oh, my goodness. And you're in Denver?
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs. Excel Roofing. They opened up a branch in Colorado Springs. And, Emily, I'm going to use this for a half a second to tell people why they're so great, because we have that audience down there. Listen to me. You don't pay anything up front till the job's done.
Correct.
Until you are a happy consumer, a happy homeowner, you don't pay a cent until you're content. I don't know of any other roofer that does it that way. They're great people, and I am so happy they opened a full-blown office in Colorado Springs. I appreciate you saying that about Excel.
Oh, and the company that they got to install the gutters were fantastic.
Who was that? That doesn't matter, but the whole thing went great for you.
But, I mean, they contracted for them to do it, and everything looked so nice, and Excel was in and out. In one day, they cleaned up, and you couldn't ever tell it.
Well, we love when we get kudos about people on our referral list.
They're one company, Colorado Springs, that I love.
Well, we sure appreciate that. Thank you, Emily. 303-713-8255. Suzanne, are you telling me Shawnee's got another question about the dog thing?
I thought she had questions, follow-up questions.
Shawnee, go ahead, real quick. I don't want to beat a dead dog. You there or not? Shawnee. You know, maybe I've got to go back to broadcasting training school, because every time I'm just going to dump her. 303-713-8255. Bonnie Shields, attorney at law, is in-house with us today. Any family law questions you have whatsoever. I know one you're probably getting. Bonnie?
What's that?
I bet, because tax season, April 15th is coming up, I bet people are asking you all the time, and wink, wink, I already know this because you said it, can I deduct a kid in a divorce? Who gets to choose? What is the question, honestly? What is the big one you're asked?
Sure. Well, it used to be that you get to deduct your children on your taxes, but that went away with the 2017 tax returns. So what you can do now is if you have children, there's available child tax credit.
Now, who gets that in a divorce? Is that all arbitrated in the divorce?
That can be negotiated. That child tax credit can absolutely be negotiated.
Is there times where people will split it?
There are. If there's 2 kids, maybe you each take one, or sometimes you alternate every other year. So that can be alternated. The other thing that's really important is how you file your taxes. And I'm not a CPA, so you want to double check with your accountant. But if you file your taxes as head of household, you have to have had the child more than half of the year. So if you have a custody arrangement that's a 50-50, then you can alternate that. Claiming head of household is a lower tax rate than claiming as a single person. So the head of household. But if you have a situation where one parent has most of the time and the other parent doesn't have as much time, the parent with most of the time gets to claim the head of household, but you can still alternate that tax credit.
I wonder how it works if both people actually claim the kid under any circumstance. I bet it happens all the time.
Oh, I've seen it happen.
And then what happens? Eventually the IRS matches up all the paperwork and they know that dependent's been taken twice?
Yes, and they both get a letter. This happens a lot. They both get a nice little letter from the IRS, and then they get to sort it out and pay their accountants some fees to help them.
Oh, so that's one thing you definitely do not want to do.
And this time of year, it's difficult because people, I've had it happen twice in my cases so far this year, is somebody went ahead and deducted the kids without waiting to see if that was going to be, or not deducted the kids, but put their kids on their tax return before they had a court order allowing them to do so. They just went ahead and did it.
That's crazy.
So now that would mean that my client can't then do it, so we've got to straighten that out.
When we come back, I got to take a break. I want you to think about this. I want to know family law's got to be crazy because everybody's so worked up. I can't imagine going through a divorce. I'm lucky. I've been married 25 years, and Suzanne's extremely lucky. She's been married to me 25 years. But can you imagine going through a divorce, how mean it would get? I want to know who is meaner. Men or women in general? And have you ever handled any same-sex divorces? I want to know these when we come back. 303-713-8255. We'll be back after these messages. Have you handled a same-sex? Have you handled the same sex?
I haven't. I've got.
It'd be handled the same way,
reason
right?
not to. Yeah, it's the same way.
Wait. Say again, please.
Crash Yosemite has been clear. Traffic flow is looking much better along that stretch. A little blip of delay.
I bet you they get mean. I bet you same sex gets mean.
I bet particularly if it's too much.
Were you able to get Salisbury?
Westbound I-270 also stop and go approaching Bass.
Okay, perfect. Maybe just give them a text heads up. I can really use them on the air after looking at it.
The weather forecast. Supposed to be sunny today with a high of 57. Right now, few clouds and 41.
What do you call a cross between a beagle and a pug? A peagle or a bug? I wonder what the answer is.
Peagle.
Okay, hold on.
Are you teasing us?
Fire Insurance Exchange Set affiliates. Products not available in every state.
All right, check this out. A full-blown tune-up. They usually spend 3-4 hours. They're going to come out, fix it 24/7. They're going to come out and do a full-blown tune-up on your furnace and AC. Now, you ready? This isn't just some kind of inspection where they try to sell you a new system. This is a legit tune-up that they will do on both units to make sure your AC is ready for the hot weather and your furnace after the season. $68. Check it out now. $68. 720-526-3939. Those are tough, those 30s on those cleaning systems.
You know, Tom, it was 27 yesterday.
What does that mean? That was for one.
Oh, okay. Oh, for the.
All I can do is go up with what Tom left.
He said, he said both of them. 27.
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking at literally what Tom wrote up last night.
Okay. Maybe you got bombarded with it.
Yes, tell them to hang tight because I'm going to work it in.
You know, on tax credit, they got to be under 17.
What?
On that tax credit, they got to be under 17. So your daughter, you'll get your daughter.
I won't get it.
Oh,
Why?
crap.
Why won't you? For your daughter?
Because I make too much money.
Oh.
That means I just got my last tax credit. My daughter will turn 17 this year.
Yeah, but if she doesn't turn 18 till next, under 17 or under 18?
Child must be under 17 at the end of the year to claim the credit.
Under 17
So 16.
at the end of the year.
Damn.
Boy, I wonder why they did that. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Equal opportunity lender regulated by DORA, NMLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call.
And it's $2,000 tax credit.
You know what to do.
Hey, I'm gonna rip this Band-Aid off. We need to break up. You're not good for me. I'm always sweaty and uncomfortable around you.
No, I might not be too bad for my son.
What?
For my son and stuff, because he's going to get hit. He got hit with that 1099 for the vehicle.
Of course he did, for the deficiency.
Right. So he's going to end up making under $8,000, even with that. So
He won't have any taxes.
Right.
His exemption handles him.
Yeah.
Although you take him as a dependent.
I won't now. Why would I?
I don't know. I don't know why you would. Because you automatically get his 12 or 20,000. I don't know. Ask Mallory. Mallory will tell you.
Yeah, I gotta get that.
I mean, really, that's all it comes down to is he'll tell you which way to go. That's interesting, though. I don't know. Now, if he made, okay, let's say he made 20,000. I don't know what Mallory would say either.
I'm sure he might.
What's a song? Think of a song that would have something to do with a troll. A troll.
Billy Goat Scruff.
What is it?
Oh, this is a story.
Oh, the old tale.
Huh?
Think of what song would have something to do or mention the word troll.
Can't stop that feeling.
McDonald Hardwoods, we source our flooring
Something from Shrek.
That's, I was thinking that, Shrek.
I know that music figure, but nothing says soul on there. Ogre.
You know who we're
Songs of
seeing
ogres.
next week, or this week, we're seeing Hello Dolly. Is it good?
It is good. Well, it's a classic. It's a classic.
I don't want the troll music coming back now. I want it next hour.
I think there's a band named the Trolls.
Can't stop the feeling. There's one that goes, Trolls! Isn't there one that goes, Trolls? Oh, that's a pinball machine I play. Damn it. It is. It's called, oh man, what the hell is the name of that pinball machine? And when you get into multi-ball, it goes, Trolls!
Sounds like a good game.
Maybe even something like some YouTuber made that just talks negatively about trolls.
The Happy Troll. Greeting theme song.
Shut down energy production across Colorado. But we won't be fooled. Call Governor Polis and tell him to veto SB 181.
What do you think about that bill, Bonnie, that gives away the Colorado electoral votes.
You're gonna have to refresh me on it.
Oh, okay. They just signed a bill that the popular, it goes by the U.S. popular vote. That's where electoral votes go to. So we could vote 100%.
Oh my God, Shawnee's back.
And
I'm gonna hang myself.
Electoral votes, and the Democrat wins. Electoral votes will go to the Democrat for the popular vote. In the
Oh.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Gear Jammer. Good music, bro. I like Grant. Grant's good, man. We had this guy before Grant that wasn't Grant.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. 303-713-8255. I'll let you know when a line's open. By the way, Courtney Pierce called up. He owns Buy and Build. They are closing down one location, moving it to another place, and their auction starts today. Really quick, Courtney. I mean, you guys are selling everything. You've got to liquidate everything. Cabinets are what, $5-10? Sinks are like $10. You said last time some of those vessel sinks, those round cool bowls people are starting to do, went for like $8. I mean, give us really quick some stuff.
Yeah, there's some sitting on there right now, some vessel sinks sitting under $20 anyway, some really nice hand-painted ones. We've got pedestal sinks, a whole pallet of pedestal sinks for like $10 right now.
Oh, man.
I'm doing a lot of large pallet lots and large lots because we are doing liquidation. So there's full pallets of lighting, full pallets of sinks, full pallets of faucets.
How do people find it? Where do they go, man? I know it's Roller Auction. Just rollerauction.com and look for Buy and Build?
That's correct. It's ROLLER auction.com.
All right, man. Well, let us know how it goes, and check in tomorrow if you want, man. But the auction just started. Get in there. Get these things going. See you, Courtney.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, 303-713-8255. Shawnee, hold tight. I'll come back to your question. J.D., though, has got a question for our studio guest, Bonnie Shields. J.D., what's up, man?
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, Bonnie, I was just talking to the Child Support Registry yesterday. Our son, he goes to the military June 28th. He'll turn 19 August 18th. So he goes to military before he turns 19. There's 2 children on the child support order. The order's for $417 and some change a month. So they told me when he goes to the military, he'll be taken off the case, the child support case, but the amount will stay the same.
Why? Because he's still under 19 or whatever? You mean the amount of child support you pay?
Correct. The amount of
so he's saying he's paying child support. This kid's getting ready to go into the military. Your basic question is, shouldn't it go down, right?
Yeah, the way I see it, it should be halved.
Well, okay, so it doesn't get halved, but it needs to get recalculated. And that number is not likely to be exactly split in half. But absolutely, it needs to be recalculated based upon 1 child and not 2. So you need to ask them to modify it.
Now, why wouldn't it go in half, though? If there's only 2 kids, and I mean, just for a general rule of thumb, if I'm paying child support for 2 kids and one whatever is gone, why wouldn't it get in half? It just simply doesn't work that way?
Yeah, there's a precise mathematical formula, and it doesn't work that way.
You know what? I guess you're right, because let's just take a house. You're going to live in a house regardless. You could live in the same size house and have 3 children or 2. So just by taking 1 kid away, there's some things that aren't going to change the cost.
That's true. So you need to make sure that you tell them you want them to modify it at that, and you need to tell them they need to start working on that modification so that it can be effective. When the date he goes into the military, there's only 1 child you should be paying support for.
Can you still, Dan, you might know this better, then I'll ask Bonnie, and I'm sorry, J.D., hold on, I'll follow up with you, but Dan, can you still get into the military at 17 if your parents say yes?
Yes, they got to sign, though.
So how does that work? If a parent allowed their child to join the military at 17, would they still have to pay child support if there was only 1 kid?
No, there's several reasons child support ends. One of them being a child reaches age of 19. There's another one if they get married. There's another one if they join the U.S. military.
Okay.
And a couple others.
Okay, I get it.
It would go by then.
J.D., do you got a follow-up?
I do. So when I asked about that to the Child Support Registry, she said I had to go file a motion with the court and have the court revisit.
Of course.
And that would be the recalculation has to be through the court.
Well, I say, of course, Bonnie. I mean, is that the procedure?
The Division of Child Support can do that modification without you having to go through the court. They'll do one up at, it's like something like every 2 years. Have you had them do one in the last couple of years?
No, we have not.
Well, I don't know why they won't do it. So, worst case, a couple months before he goes into the military, file a motion to modify your child support.
Is that easy to do?
Yeah, the forms are online. There's instructions online for this kind of it. There's not going to be a disagreement here.
JD, there you go, man. You got it?
All right, thank you.
Make sure you file that on time, though. In fact, I'd start looking into it right now. 303-713-8255. We'll have one line open. We have a follow-up on a Larry H. Miller call. Hopefully that's good news. And then Andy wants to know he's not getting a lunch, and he's working 6 hours. I'm not quite sure what he's asking. We'll figure it out. And Shawnee's got another question about suing that dog place.
Never worry about breakdowns with...
I think she set us up.
Who?
Shawnee.
What?
I think her old time she wanted money. She said she was fine with the $210. Now she wants to sue?
Sue for what, though?
I know. We'll have to ask.
The vet bills for the other dog?
Oh, man, that would be impossible.
I don't know. If my dog attacked your dog...
It's her dog, though. It was her dog at the time. Who's she going to sue?
That's a hell of a good point. She's suing herself.
Yeah. Oh, maybe she is going after her homeowners, her own homeowners. And she could.
Who do I have?
But they're homeowners.
Centeno Schultz, baby.
Our stepdaughters, as soon as the one dropped off, the dad just automatically did it in half.
What time?
I've seen that.
My wife didn't do anything.
When's the headline?
Because she didn't want to cause issues.
I always forget some of these people. No, I have seen that often. And people just, it just seems like that would make sense.
No, it doesn't. I don't think, I think just what you're saying, because if you have a house, you still have to pay the house. So it's, what do you think it's close to, like 1.5 times? Or what do you...
I don't know what the math is on it. It really, because it's really based on the income.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the time you get to redoing it anyway, her income's probably different, his is different, there's probably some other factors that are different. It needs to be recalculated.
Right. No, I agree. And I thought you actually had to go to court, but you can just do it online, huh?
Well, you get the forms online.
Oh, okay.
And actually, if you guys agree, you can write up an agreement, and you'll never have to go to court. But if you don't agree, you have to go to court.
And the agreement would just be, because you would go through the algorithm and stuff, and then say, oh,
you figure out what it is.
This is good.
Starting January 31st or whatever, there'll only be one child. The new support should be X amount, and you both sign, and most courts will accept that. They're happy to not have to have you come to court.
I got a question too on divorce and stuff. Do they normally, for younger kids, have one of the adults say, okay, it's going to be living with the mom, but when it gets to be a higher education, we want some of that money, some money put into that? Is that a standard, or they'll do a bond or something?
Actually, the court has no
really? Okay.
No agree. If people put in writing, hey, we'll split the costs of college 50-50, the court will enforce that, but the court has no authority anything to do with secondary education.
Gotcha. Okay.
What's that?
Secondary education.
I've seen a lot of people who always, okay, I will pay her $300 a month, but I want to be guaranteed that she's put $100 in savings, and I want to see the account. You don't get to control it like that.
Yes, yes.
Too bad. It'd be nice if she can do that, but.
Now, when someone gets remarried, though, everything goes down, right? Most of the time.
Goes away, just like in the military, right?
Oh,
gets remarried? No, I don't think so.
Child doesn't affect child support at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
Alimony?
It affects that. It goes bye-bye.
It does. How about if they married a bum?
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It can come back, though. There's a case where somebody just did that. Somebody shared this case with me. They married a bum. And turned out he went woman to woman and milked him dry and then went on. And she got an annulment from him. And then she was able to, she got her maintenance back.
She could collect back?
No, not back maintenance, but she got it reinstated.
How about if they held themselves out as married but never went down to the courtroom? In other words, let's say they filed a joint tax return saying they were married. The husband or wife gets wind of it. Could you say they were legally married, common law marriage?
You sure could.
And you could fight that.
You could.
We'll bring that up. That's good.
I will bet you that gets ugly. You always get the ugly ones. ugly things.
I've had 3 common law marriage cases this year, and they're not common.
They're uncommon law.
They're
Oh, you
uncommon.
have?
3 of them this year.
Divorces or?
Nope, common law marriage. One says, "What are you talking about?" The other says, "We were married. Don't you remember?"
Yeah, we got married as soon as you won that lottery, babe.
And when they don't file taxes together, that's a big clue. There's just all these things that are like clues.
As soon as you hit that scratcher for 150.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on, guys. About 20 seconds.
I'll bet you a lot of them.
Centeno!
We know every windshield collision has a unique sound.
They do put on a hell of a seminar. Have you been to one?
Yep. They still do food?
Talk to farmers. We are farmers.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchange Company. Forms not available in every state.
You know, I hope Deputy Clint doesn't get upset that I'm talking about this, but it wasn't long ago. Tom and I went down to a Centeno Schultz seminar. In fact, it was down north. This time, tonight, in fact, it's in Lone Tree, so I suggest you actually show up and check it out. And I mean that for anything. If you have any kind of shoulder pain, rotator cuff pain, knee pain, ACL tear, you get the idea. And if stem cells aren't right for you, they do PRP. But that is going to circle me back down to Deputy Clint, who's hopefully back on the show with us soon. Deputy Clint is using them right now, and he is getting unbelievable results. In fact, Centeno Schultz found something on him other doctors missed. But bottom line, get down to Lone Tree tonight. Call this number. They'll give you all the details. They're really cool people. 303-963-9201. They'll answer any questions right there. 303-963-9201. Centeno Schultz, the real stem cell people.
Now, dude, it's very informative. Have you been to one, Bonnie?
What's that?
Have you been to one with Centeno Schultz?
Oh, how did yours go?
I went to me. I have put it off because I had to handle a couple other things, and then I'm gonna do it.
You should go tonight.
You should talk to. She's been to one.
Okay.
You should talk to Clint. Clint can't stop talking about the difference. We just saw him. We haven't. He couldn't show up to volunteer anymore. He was in so much pain. Literally.
So the PRP is helping him?
Hold on, guys. Yeah, they said PRP is perfect for him, not stem cell. So it's way cheaper. Okay, hold on.
Or just go to the website, simplyfloorsinc.com.
Okay, this is so simple, so easy. PriceFixerDenver.com. Listen, any problem you have with your furnace or air conditioner, any problem, free diagnostic, no trip charge. Listen to me, no cost, no trip charge, no diagnostic fee. You can't get any better than that anywhere. Simple as that. Go to PriceFixerDenver.com. They'll fix your AC furnace at the lowest guaranteed price as well. Lowest prices, best guarantees. PriceFixerDenver.com.
Kristen Caper, evenings at 6.
Wednesday, it's Wild Ass Get.
She's on KOA. Oh, no, Kristen's right here. I'm sorry.
WHINE, so pour yourself
That was stupid.
Bust out the cheese. It's going to be a great ride. Join me at 6.
That sounded weird. Bust out the cheese. Bust out the cheese.
Need somebody. Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Yeah, welcome to the show. You know what this show's about. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, tell your complaints. My goodness, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everybody out there. If you're new to the area, it is the only show that has recovered over $200 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, and refunds. We get directly involved, whether you just want to vent about getting ripped off from somebody. We've got what we call a spotlight. And when we find a cockroach, we take that spotlight and we shine it on it, and you watch him run away. You watch him run to other states. But we're actually downloaded. We're the #1 podcast, I believe, downloaded on the iHeart Network in Denver. Period. End of story. Period. We have listeners all across this world, let alone this country. We have affiliates everywhere. In other words, bad guys, if you're listening, watch the hell out. Here's what we're here for. We're here for the consumer. We're consumer advocates, but at the same time, if the consumer's a nut, we'll tell them they're a nut. That's how it works. 303-713-8255. I'll try to let you know when there's a line open. I'm going to take a follow-up call, Larry H. Miller. Then we'll probably go to Andy. Suzanne and I are watching this new show real quick. Tom and I always talk about shows. We love binge watching. Suzanne, that new show, Shrill.
I really like it.
It's cool. I can't think of the lady's name. It's a half-hour comedy. It's put out by Hulu, so there's no commercials. It's really good. Well, there's no commercials if you order the no-commercial package. It's like $11 a month. But in the recent episodes, or actually in the last 4 or 5, she has a troll. She writes a column in the newspaper. It's a Hulu show, and it's called Shrill. She writes a column in a newspaper, and she's got this troll that leaves her messages. She's a heavy-set woman, or a fat lady, if you will, and they leave messages saying, oh, you're so fat, you shouldn't be writing a column, or this or that. But this one person is a troll. So, in the last episode we watched last night, we're not all the way through the series, she tracks down the troll. She literally tracks down this troll and goes to his house. Now, I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow, but she threw a brick or something through the window. It was great. But it made me start thinking, I've got a troll, and that troll's listening right now. Should I track down that troll? Wait a minute. I think he's in Texas. Wait a minute. I know where he works. Wait a minute. I think I've already tracked down my troll. My troll attacked Suzanne. My troll attacked me. My troll even attacked Deputy Dan.
Not me.
I can't believe it.
He thinks I can make sandwiches for Dan, remember?
He says...
As you should.
He says Dan should replace me, and then I should be the janitor.
Serving donuts.
Serving donuts, and
yes.
Suzanne should make Dan sandwiches.
Because I have a typical woman's stance.
So here's a problem. Here's a problem with this guy, and I'm being serious now. This has been going on for a year and a half. He gets really drunk. Once he's really drunk at night, the emails start coming in the voicemails, like after 10 p.m. And he is a professional truck driver. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to call and make sure everything's cool over at where he works. But Mr. Troll, thanks to Shrill, I'm starting to think of different ways. So let me put this. Attack me, I'm cool with it. Attack my wife, bro. We're going to have issues. So this is your warning. This is it, man. You really want to play games? I'm here to play them. Okay? That's it, Jeff. That's it. And then, my God, if you ever attack Deputy Dan again.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be that. All right, 303-713-8255. That show truly reminded me of that guy last night. And we've got great PIs on referrallist.com. They can pull off amazing things. They have found adopted kids before, which is amazing. Not kids looking for their parents. Listen to what I'm saying. No, the actual parents looking for kids they gave up. All right, 303-713-8255, and let's go to Sharon. What happened with Larry H. Miller? Give me a little behind the scenes. What happened?
Well, the same day, the manager called, and he apologized. He said that the guy that
No, I'm sorry, Sharon. Recap the problem.
When we bought a brand new car, and when we went in for the finance part, he had us sign a bunch of things that we didn't really fully understand.
God, I hear this so much. Okay, what didn't you understand, just for everybody listening?
The one thing that I was most upset about was the fact that we had to sign something that said if the car was stolen, that they would, if it wasn't purchased within or found within a month, that they would give us $5,000. But then when I started reading
wait.
we paid $500 for that.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So you bought some kind of insurance to where if the car is stolen, they're going to give you some money, almost like gap insurance?
Well, I guess kind of.
Okay, so they sold you that. Okay, did they sell you the mop and glow too?
Yes, they sold us several things. But anyhow,
how much did you pay for all the extra stuff? I'm curious. Roughly.
But I'm not sure. Probably $1,300.
$1,300. Now, I just want to say this for folks listening. Remember, this is a radio show, Sharon. We had one. You think that $1,300? I realize. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're like, I didn't want that. And we'll get to the follow-up and what happened. But we had one, Sharon. Listen to this. This guy bought a motorcycle, and I am forbidden to say where, so I won't say where. He bought it from a dealer, okay? This dealer sold him the bike, and by the way, he was a serviceman, sold him the bike for $12,000. That's how much it was. His final ticket leaving, because of the mop and glow and the tire warranty and the paint warranty and the chip warranty and the mechanical warranty and the service contract and everything else, Bonnie Shields, you can't believe this. The bike was $12,000. After all the warranties, $21,000 in crap. $21,000, $11,000 in mop and glow. Now, Sharon, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay, well, anyhow, the manager called me right after he talked to you folks, and he apologized and said that the fellow that didn't quite understand everything, because I had gone in the next day and
oh, cool.
I think I won all this, and he said, well, we can't really cancel that, so that's why I was upset. But anyhow, I talked to the manager, Mike Surrey, yesterday, and he made everything right.
Excellent.
Funded what we weren't interested in. He explained
excellent.
Everything, and we were happy when we left. He apologized for what happened, and he said part of the problem was because he hadn't fully trained the fellow that on these subjects.
Excellent, excellent. I love hearing good things. So they reversed it.
They are good.
They are. Did you call over on this one? What'd they say? Boom, we'll handle it.
Right. I'll call her right now.
I like that. I like that a lot. Sharon, now you feel better. If you had to go back and buy another vehicle, you'd probably go back to them, wouldn't you?
Yes, and I'd go back with a little more knowledge than I did the first time.
Yeah. Anybody also buying their first new car or just wants help, you can always call into the show. We have got resources left and right. Sharon, I really appreciate you holding and giving us that update.
I told him that I would make it right because he felt bad because he said they got some calls from some people say, well, we're never going to buy a car from you.
No, and I'll tell you, Larry H. Miller, if Dan says they're doing good, man, they're doing good. I believe him.
Now, Prestige Auto up in Longmont, now
forget about them.
Forget about that place.
Man, there's places out there that, in our opinions, are just horrible. Thank you again. We appreciate that update. One line open. 303-713-8255. Andy, no lunch when working less than 6 hours. What's going on?
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
So, my deal is I work for a company, and they automatically deduct a half an hour from me, even if I've worked less than 6 hours.
That's interesting. So, wait a minute. Even if you work less than 6 hours, you know who I want to get on? Who's our referral list member that Nate just got up?
Yeah, I've already texted him, Sean Olson.
Yeah, Sean Olson is an attorney at law that is an absolute genius at this stuff. But you're saying, what company do you work for? Do you mind saying?
Justice Trucking.
So Justice Trucking, are you in-state or are you over the road or what?
So I'm actually an equipment operator.
What?
An equipment operator.
Oh, okay. Okay, but you're in Colorado, and you get paid with what, a W-2? It's all just company income?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're saying even if you work 6 hours, let's say if you work 5.5 hours, they automatically deduct a half hour?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Well, that makes sense to me, Mark. They're forcing him to take a lunch. And if you read that article I sent you from the Colorado State Unemployment or Employment and Labor Law, it kind of explains that.
Well, I want to look at that. I'd love to hear Sean's opinion on this, but I think of my son that works for Walmart. They make him take a 15-minute break every X amount of time, but they're paid for it. Is that just because Walmart's a good employer? I mean, honestly, I don't know the answer.
They get a break, but they do get docked for lunch.
Who?
Anybody.
Well, yeah, of course, lunch. But is what I'm asking, Dan, and Sean Olson's going to know, are the breaks mandatory? Does, in Colorado, if you work an 8-hour day anywhere and you're a W-2 employee, do you have to take a break, one? Do you have to take a break for lunch, two? Does that an hour or half hour? And then do they have to pay you for the break or no? It's completely up to the employer.
I'm pretty sure the break is paid.
See, that's how it works at Walmart, but this guy's saying it's not paid. So I wonder if it's completely up to the employer.
Well, there's a difference between a 15-minute break that they aren't deducted for and an hour lunch or a half-hour lunch, Mark.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Andy, do you get breaks when you work as well, 15-minute breaks?
So we don't get, like, timed, like, at 9 o'clock till 9:15. Sometimes there is a break in your work, but it's not every day.
How much do you make an hour? I'm curious.
21.
All right, hold tight. We're going to try to get Sean Olson. I would just love to just quiz him so we can get the right information out. 303-713-8255. One line open, 303-713-8255. Suzanne's got a text into our attorney. Black Hills is billing her for her ex-husband. That's going to be interesting. Kelly, hold tight. I'm going to bring you up next, right after this.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
We are farmers.
60. There's a crash logging up the drive to the tech center. I-25 at Bellevue.
I'm going to use you in this spot.
And the ramp from Bellevue onto southbound I-25 is temporarily blocked until they get that crash out of the way. Calculations on that stretch. Also got a couple of slow spots in town to watch out for on the highway drive northbound I-25 slow downtown around 6th Avenue, southbound 225 heavy around Yosemite. Crash off highway northbound and clean up stages to watch out for as well. Weather forecast. Well, it's going to be sunny today, nice.
Yeah, the employee must do a 30-minute meal break once has worked 5 hours.
Oh, it says that?
Yeah.
I want you to come back and read that. How about, does it talk about the 15-minute breaks? So it's mandatory, even if the employee doesn't want it.
Right.
All right, Revitalized Health. Actually, we call them the Hormone Bros, or the HormoneBros.com. You can go there. These guys are incredible. They do this therapy that Suzanne, well, Tom's been doing it forever, but Suzanne is on it, and Dan's on it as well. They keep bugging me, and finally I'm going to go ahead and get on this soon. I keep saying that, but Suzanne, you have been on BioT. Here's what BioT is. They basically do a rapid test on you right there in the office, figure out where your estrogen and your testosterone, and they check your thyroid, and then they create a pellet that they put basically in the fat tissue of your butt. That pellet, over a period of time, releases what you're missing. That's what the test tells them. Suzanne, you love it. When's your next one? So they last about 3 or 4 months, but it's incredible. You have to check this stuff out. Now, I'll say this for the husbands out there. When your wife's on it, there's a lot of benefits. I'll just say that. Yes, it is. 720-361-2302. Call them now. 720-361-2302.
The dead of winter. Are you still eating that dirt stuff?
Yeah, Tenacious Earth.
What was it called?
Diet Tenacious Earth.
Oh, just don't even listen to him, Bonnie.
It's the best, Bonnie.
He eats dirt.
It's the best. Actually, shells. It's so
yes.
I need to see my husband in one of those pellets that she shoots it goes into your butt.
Get that too. Feel like it. Does he got sleep issues? No, sleep issues, yeah.
I'm going to want all the price fixtures as well.
Testosterone and, I don't know how much they test you, how much testosterone and estrogen. Even guys get a little bit of estrogen, so you're low on it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't see like for weight, but I did see that it helped exercise and sleep.
Bonnie, it's Suzanne doesn't stop talking about it.
Well, what's the exercise part?
You don't know. Bonnie, do you know anything Wilson probate?
No.
It helps you get stronger.
Oh, what was it? What was this place?
HormoneBros.com. It'll make such a difference in your life. I'm not kidding, Bonnie. I'm like,
why haven't you gone there?
Because I'm a freak. I don't like the idea of them putting a slit with an X-Acto knife in my ass cheek and putting a pill in there.
No. You put a little, they put ice on it, and then they put a local anesthetic, and then they cut it. You don't even feel that.
It heals. Suzanne can't get in the hot tub for
2 days?
Yeah, tops 2 days, like 36 hours. It doesn't bother her. It doesn't bother him. I have a mental, I'm going to do it. It's a mental block. Just seeing their results. This guy used to take, what were those pills you took to go to sleep?
Oh, Ambien.
Ambien.
I was on for 2 years.
He never even,
oh my God.
When you're on Ambien, you don't dream, literally. Your body kind of just goes out. He sleeps now, everything.
Yeah.
He got off heroin. He doesn't do cocaine
meth
during the day.
I was on meth for a while.
You don't have to be on methadone anymore?
He's down to 1 pack a day.
No, it really did help with sleeping.
Wow.
I've never met anybody. Well, look at Tom. He's 66. He's been on it for 5-7 years. Did you? I don't know how long you've known Tom, but he was 10 years ago. Man, he was heavy as hell.
Martino?
Yeah. Right at the end, towards the end of Fox and the Holly days, I call them.
Okay.
The hell days.
Buddy Holly?
Yeah, Buddy Holly. No, Holly who ran over my car, Holly.
Oh, that was an accident.
Yeah. His ex ran over my car. Brand new car, too. When I say ran over it, like up on it.
It happens, though. Things like that happen.
Accidents do happen. Maybe she needed a little pill.
Grant, I love you. The troll song. All right, 303-713-8255. All right, what problem are we solving now? Oh, Andy. Let's go back to Andy real quick. Put him on hold real quick. Actually, I'll go to Kelly while Suzanne's getting that back up. But actually, no. I'm all confused. Dan, what did you find out? You were reading something that Suzanne sent you.
Right. Under Colorado law, certain employers must give employees a 30-minute meal break once the employee has worked 5 hours or more.
They must, so it's not even up to the employee.
That's correct.
Well, that sounds pretty straightforward. Suzanne, we had 50 employees at one time. I mean, I assume we did that. If they, we made everybody take a full lunch, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, that's right. All right. Kelly, what's going on with Black Hills Energy? I assume it's Black Hills Energy.
It is.
What's going on?
Okay, so I sent a brief email explaining what's going on, and so my ex-husband, we've been divorced for 14 years, and he passed away last April, and he lived at a separate address. I've lived at my address for 14 years, and so when he passed away, apparently he didn't pay his bill prior to his passing, and so these charges showed up. It was either May or June of last year on my bill, and it said other charges, and so I called to find out what it was, and it was his unpaid bill.
Kelly, this is going to be a very simple thing to either solve or you're going to hate the answer. Did you sign on that as well? Are you also on that agreement with that energy company?
No.
So you're saying his name was the only person on that other property?
Yes.
Now, okay, I need to clarify here. One, was it a house, an apartment? What was it?
It was a house.
Did you both own the house?
We did until we divorced, and then it went totally into his name.
Okay, Bonnie, I'm going to pick your brain on this. So, they get divorced. They both own the house at the beginning. They sign up with Black Hills Energy, so they get their electrical power from this company. They get divorced. He stays in that house. Apparently, they never told Black Hills this, but the divorce did go through, and the house is now 100% in his name. He kicks the bucket. They're trying to bill her, Black Hills Energy, for the unpaid electrical after he's dead.
But she said her name wasn't on the contract.
Yeah, but I don't know if she ever told Black Hills that. So here's why I'm asking you. Suzanne and I own a house together. If we get divorced and the house just goes into her name, am I still responsible for the electric bill there?
No, that you need to change those utilities to the person's name.
That's what I'm saying.
So in the other person's name.
Kelly, at any time did you call up Black Hills? And this isn't legal advice, okay? This is just common sense, and there's a reason I say that all the time. But anyhow, Kelly, did you ever call up, or did he call up and say, hey, we got divorced, this needs to be in my name only?
Well, okay, so I never did that, but I will tell you that when him and I, prior to purchasing that home, we lived in a rental property, and the bill was in his name, so when we purchased the home, he transferred it to
You know what, let's just call and clarify, because how long ago did you guys get divorced and the house was fully in his name?
14 years.
See, I've got to agree with her. I don't care. This is common sense. So your ex-husband owned that house only by himself for the last 14 years. And now I said Excel, but now Black Hills is trying to bill you after he died and there was an electric bill. How much is it?
It's 169.01.
You know what? I don't like any part of this. Deputy Dan, would you call over to Black Hills, get their media rep, or get someone? I don't like this. This is more of a common sense issue. It really is. 14 years this guy's owned the house. She has no responsibility there. As far as the law goes, Bonnie Shields, attorney at law, when someone does get divorced, I realize if we both sign on a mortgage and we get divorced and we've got to split up the assets, and let's say the wife ends up with the house and that asset, I might not be able to get off the loan. I mean, she might not be able to refinance, and I might not be able to get off the loan. That probably happens a lot, right?
It doesn't. If it's impossible to refinance and get your name off, the court will order the house sold.
So then they order it sold. But they got her off the loan. But how does it work with utilities and stuff?
From what I've seen, people just, if it is, let's say husband moves out.
Yeah.
And utilities are in husband's name. Wife calls and they cooperate and they change utilities to wife's name.
We're going 14 years.
Yeah, but here, if it was in husband's name the whole time, how do they even have her name?
That
would be my question.
Yeah, because they both lived there when they first started it.
But the utility company wouldn't know that. I'm guessing that she's on there.
It's so long ago, I don't even know. I mean, she's definitely on there somehow.
Yeah, she has to be.
Okay, Deputy Dan, would you call them on the break?
What about the estate? Shouldn't the estate just take it over?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, it's a good question. Did he have any estate?
No.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, what's happening to the house?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the situation, when we divorced 14 years ago, the house went totally to him, and he ended up losing the house, sells it because he had a bad gambling problem. He sold it just because it was going into foreclosure. So he sold it to a guy.
So there's no money. It doesn't matter. There's zero money.
I mean, he never owned it.
There is no estate.
No.
Okay.
No.
There's just debt in the estate.
Yes, exactly. And then can I also just tell you one thing?
Yeah.
That last month when they sent me, because they're threatening to shut off my power at my house because I won't pay his bill.
This is outrageous.
So when I went down to the Black Hills Energy office in Pueblo last month, I took them my divorce papers, and she said, okay, I'm going to scan this in, and we're not going to turn off your power. Well, I just got another shut-off notice.
Suzanne, do we have an angel at Black Hills?
If not, I'll get one.
You know, this is crazy. I agree with her. 14 years. I would almost agree with them if this is 6 months. But if you haven't lived in that house for 14 years, you got divorced 14 years ago, the house isn't even in your name. I mean, I might as well give Dan my electric bill and make him pay that. It just makes no sense. 0 cents. I don't like it. Dan, are you going to call right now?
Yeah, I'll call.
You've got your marching orders. I want results, Dano. I want you to come back after this break, and I want you to tell me how they're not going to charge her this money. You got it?
Yes.
You going to pull it off, buddy?
I think so.
And stuff, huh? And stuff?
That stuff will get done.
All right. Hang tight, everybody. Let's see what Dano can pull off during the break. Shake them up, bro.
I'm sure I'll go on hold for quite a while. Number.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance. We are Police remain on the scene of that starboard wreck at the Tech Center Drive, southbound I-25 at Bellevue. The right lane of the highway remains blocked, and the ramp from Bellevue onto southbound I-25 is also blocked as well. Patients if you're coming from I-25 and have drive across town. Well, there's a few slow spots downtown. 25 stop and go either side of 6th Avenue. Also watch out for slow speeds on the westbound side of I-70 in the elevated portion. Up in the high country, US 6 remains closed in Clear Creek Canyon for rockfall mitigation. The weather forecast. It'll be sunny today with a high near 57. Right now, a few clouds above 45. Traffic and weather. I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-How. At Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound. Beetle, bird poop, drone. Seen it, covered it. Talk to Farmers. We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchange and affiliates. Products not available in every state.
How about if you could go to an orthodontics like Dr. Kent Lawson, and that's exactly who I'm talking about, in your kids. Long as he gets them early enough. You know, we're talking 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even up to 12 years old. If he gets them early enough, he can look at them and say, hey, they'll never need braces. He will actually start aligning their jaw right now. As they're younger, before the palate gets too tight, he will actually handle it, and your kids and your wallet will never have to go through braces. He'll let you know how it works. In fact, they have free seminars every month. They're great guys. And Dr. Kent Lawson, I have never seen a doctor or a dentist that has been so passionate about his practice. It is absolutely incredible. He's right in Lone Tree. They're basically at the Lincoln Light Rail Station. There's no cost on the seminars, no obligation. These guys are great. But call this number. Just check it out if you have kids. 303-690-0400. 303-690-0400. I should have done ideals.
I got a couple comedians if you want their name.
Oh, what do you got?
All right, I've got this one would be.
Is what's his face coming up though? The one you really want? Yeah.
I think it's next Thursday and I can't go.
Okay.
That's Thursday. Okay, there's somebody. This one I would really like to see though. May 16th is John Heffron, but it says no passes, so I don't know if they'll.
That's not bad.
See that? He's a big deal.
May 16th?
May 16th. And
that's a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Are we good on a May 16th for a comedian? Hold on, she'll tell me. That's what. Let's do that one if you really like him.
Yeah. There's one, I don't know if you've heard of Steve Trevino. He does Tex-Mex. I don't know. Anyone that's there for 3 nights, I figure, is probably a big deal. Heffron's a huge deal, though.
I almost emailed Suzanne, my wife. I want these tickets instead of Susan.
Oh.
The sales rep.
I've used Don's garage doors in my home, and folks, you should too. The garage is the entrance to your home, and you want somebody you can trust. Next time you need a garage door repair or replacement, call Don.
Is that Comedy Club DTC?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of going downtown.
Okay, May 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Al Aramis from Pro Auto Care because we have a special.
Thursday.
$9.95. This is a great special. I like it for what you get after the service. Go ahead, Al. The Pro package, Tom. That's what we do. So many people get busy. They drive around and go over.
You've done really good today, Tom. That's 2 so far that I've caught.
It never stops. There's nothing I can do. I don't even. What do you do?
It's pretty funny.
It's not their fault.
May 16th would be okay.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
That is what's incredible. We're talking right now about roadside assistance with all of these packages, and that's incredible. Pro Auto Care, 303 Pro Auto. That's the phone number, and the website is 303proauto.com. 2 locations: Denver near I-25 and Evans, and on Santa Fe just south of Bowles, and online at 303proauto.com.
Income is the outcome that matters in retirement. Visit retirewithtucker.com. Retire happy.
Denver's talk station, online at khout.com.
I'll tell you a story about the house on the roof. I come home one Friday, had to tell the landlady I lost my job.
All right, 303-713-8255. He's hitting a little George Thorgood today. I like George. I think he's still alive. Who knows? Anyhow, we've got a lot going. Chuck wants to warn people about something. Deputy Dan's still in there talking to Black Hills. Hopefully he's getting that handled. He might not have a spot in here anymore. Just kidding, Deputy Dan. Janice needs help paying rent. Janice, what do you mean? You're literally short on rent? Okay. How'd you get yourself into this position, Janice? Yes. Okay. So you need your car for Uber, so you had to pay to get your car fixed. See, the problem, the issue we always run into, if someone calls in and wants to help you out, that's wonderful. And I want you to tell a little more of your story. But the one thing I constantly worry about is if we pay your rent now, you're one car breakdown away from the same thing over and over and over again. How are you going to get yourself out of the same cycle?
Well, the reason that it's so tight is I applied to go back onto Social Security.
Yeah.
It's a disability. And so I'm not getting my full amount. The amount they give me is just enough to pay my rent, but not my other bills.
Got it.
So I'm at the point where it's pending.
So you're waiting for that to come through. When was your rent due, and how far back are you?
It was this month. I have all the money for penalties, and I applied for this other agency to help me, but I've been waiting for an answer.
Janice, how far, Suzanne's going to get your contact information for sure, but when we call up the apartment complex, how far back are you is what I'm trying to figure out.
Just this month.
Okay, so...
And it's due tomorrow, Mark. She's calling us really late in the game.
Man, you are...
Tomorrow, they said, was the last day that they can take any money from me or any other agency.
Do you have any kids or anything, or no?
I have one child, but...
Does he live with you?
No.
Okay.
He's disabled.
Where does he live?
He lives here.
I just said, does he live with you? You said no, though.
He lives here, but he doesn't live with me.
Okay. I guess I'm confused. Oh, you mean he lives in Colorado?
Yes.
I gotcha. All right, let's do this. Suzanne, I'm going to put you on hold, Janice. Get her info. What I want you to do, though, is let's try to talk to the apartment complex. And
okay.
I mean, it's so late, and if Deputy Daff was around, I'd have her call today. She'll be in tomorrow. I mean, it's one day. I have no idea what we can figure out. I have no idea if we'll have anybody call that wants to help her out. I mean, Janice, once again, where it comes back to me is, go ahead, Deputy Daff.
How much was it?
$1,000.
Wow.
She needs $1,000. She's so sweet.
You know, if someone calls Janice, we'll definitely pass it along. And if anybody does call to help her out, or multiple people, we always vet these folks. We make sure everything is exactly what it is. We'll talk to the apartment complex. We'll also run a background check. And Janice, I'm just going to be straightforward with you. If there's a lot of stuff in your background where you've been arrested for different things, we're probably going to tell the people that are willing to donate, you know, not to. So is that going to be an issue?
No, sir.
Excellent. Okay, hold on. I like that. I don't think she's fallen off the cliff yet, as Tom would say, so we might be able... I want to ask her one more thing. I'm intrigued now. Janice, how long have you lived at this current place?
Oh, wow.
Well,
back in 1998.
So you've lived in this one place since 1998?
Yes.
And you haven't got evicted. Listen, people, this could be something we can all feel good about. Hold tight, okay? Suzanne, get the info. Free up the line, though, but let's get her info. And if anybody out there, if everything works out and everything is what she's saying it is, if you would email us at help@troubleshooter.com, help@troubleshooter.com. It's amazing. A lot of these times we have folks in positions like this, some of them really hit home to people, and Bonnie will get lots and lots of donations. Other times, they just don't resonate, and we get nothing. It's really hard to tell. It's amazing, actually. But we will vet her. We will check her out. I promise you that. We do a background check, literally pull a background check. We'll talk to the landlord. We'll try to figure it out. Because the worst scenario is we give her $1,000, and she's in the same exact boat in a few weeks. I want to make sure that is not going to happen here. And for the future, I wish she called us when she needed the car fixed. That would have been a lot easier to try to figure out. Chuck, what's going on?
Dan, it's Chuck. How are you?
Great. How are you, Chuck?
Well, I'm calling you. I'm 69 years old, and I've had a trust and wills all my life, and I just lost my second wife last May.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
She passed away of a heart attack, and it was tough. But we went in when I married her. I found out she had no will, no trust, no nothing. So I decided to go a trust lawyer, and we got a new trust made. It cost us $6,000, one for her and one for me. And we went through all the paperwork, and we signed it. And the very last day, kind of asked us, "Do you want us to be your fiduciary trustee in case you die?" I says, "Well, that might be a good idea because I have a."
And who was it? I'm sorry. Who was a fiduciary?
A fiduciary. They wanted to know if the law firm wanted to know if they wanted them to be our fiduciary trustee in case we die.
Who? I'm sorry. That's what I'm missing.
Yeah, well, it's a Goldberg law firm. They're great company.
Man, it's going to cost you a fortune.
They were okay. Well, they did cost me a lot.
My God, the worst thing, and this is why I love David Salisbury. He's the one we always get on for wills and trusts and everything, but I talked to him at length when he was doing our trust, Suzanne and I, and he said the one thing, if you pick one of these, I don't care if it's a bank or a brokerage house or something along those lines, their fees are absolutely outrageous. You're better off to choose someone that you really know and trust. In worst scenario, you keep it in cash or keep it in very modest investments. But giving it to these guys, I mean, some of them will just rob you blind. And you're dead. You can't even do anything.
Let me jump forward for you real quick.
Go.
Well, you know, when you make those up, you don't think they're going to die for a long time. But people ought to realize that when you walk out the door, you might drop dead.
Yeah.
So what happened was 4 years later, she passes away, and I go in and give them this information and find out all of a sudden they're taking over everything because they're the fiduciary. I can't say the word very well.
Yeah.
But a trust. I thought I would take over in case she died. We thought if both of us died.
Generally, and Chuck, here's the lesson for everybody learning. Generally, what you do is you entrust someone you trust. So, okay, I'll give you a true example. So, in my scenario, as long as Tom's not dead and senile, he's our first to look out for our kids if Suzanne and I are both dead. Literally, he's our first. But if he happens to be gone, we have a second. And our second, I don't know if I'm going to say the name right now. But anyhow, our second, and then we don't even have a third, but we probably should. But if you get a fiduciary that is in the business of doing that, I mean, they can go through your kids or whatever inheritance very quick, and you have no control over it because you listed them first. You might want to list something like that dead last. I do appreciate that. Chuck is warning people about that, and I agree. Be very careful on your trust. I mean, be extremely careful who you choose and make sure you understand the fee structure. They could actually have less money. If Suzanne and I both died, there's some companies out there, literally, our kids would have less money even 1 year after. Dan?
Isn't $6,000 a lot for a trust?
I have no idea. You mean to have it written?
Yeah.
Well, David's nowhere close to that.
Right. That's
I mean, I can say that, but for all I know, Chuck worked for Microsoft at the beginning. I don't know. It's all going to come down to, how much is involved. We know he has multiple wives. But, yeah, I mean, yes, to me, right off the bat, $6,000 does sound high. Bonnie, I do want to know, I asked you, I teased this a little, who's harder to deal with in a divorce in general, the women or the men? In general. Like, out of all the cases you've done, who is, okay, difficult is not the right word to use. Who is, I don't want to use emotional either, because that's not fair. What I want to know is who is harder for you to get common sense through. Well, I want the dog. Well, I want to cut the dog in half and take half the dog. Whatever it is, who is generally harder to deal with?
I don't know if there's an answer to that, but this one might satisfy you.
Oh, man.
So here's what they both do wrong.
Go ahead.
Men tend to, and this is definitely
Hold
not
on. I'm getting yelled in my ear. I got to take a break.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going directly to that. And I don't like how she started that with men.
These slow spots in the Mile High City Freeway Drive downtown, I-25 a bit slow northbound between Alameda and Colfax. Nothing out of the ordinary there. In the Tech Center Drive, that earlier wreck southbound I-25.
So the Black Hills Energy, the only update is that basically gave it to the call center and they're supposed to call back.
Oh, man. I hate to fire you on air.
That's all. You're talking to a call center person.
Yeah.
Not to media relations.
Weather forecast. Could be sunny today with a high near 57. Right now, a few clouds and 45. Traffic and weather. I'm Keith Wagner.
But I don't think they can hold her
Farmers Insurance, we know a roof can withstand a lot.
just like a credit card bill.
One exception being an airborne car. Seen it covered.
You can drop Chucky. All right, Fix It 24/7. How often can I say this? Listen, a furnace and AC tune-up. The real deal, I promise you the real deal. They're going to clean it. It's basically like getting it refurbished. Both units. Right now, both units. You got to call now because it's not hot, it's not cold. If it's really hot or really cold, they simply won't do it. Simple as that. But right now they will. $68 are going to refurbish those units. Well, like refurbish. They're going to go in, they're going to clean it, they're going to make it right. FixMyHome.com, FixMyHome.com. FixMyHome.com. Hey, do you want to play tomorrow, by the way?
Actually, I could tomorrow because we're done.
I'd like to.
Okay.
Let's play tomorrow after the show again. Okay. Ross said he's out till April.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had such a better workout yesterday, though. I mean, it's not even close, man.
Yeah. No,
I was thinking I was just getting used to it, but it's simply because we switched from 2 to 3 players. I still love Cutthroat, don't get me wrong.
No,
but as far as my energy level, that freaking one-on-one, there's just no break.
Right, right.
I'd like to switch it, though, to where it's 2 against 1.
It is in Cutthroat.
But it's the other 2.
Oh, you mean always?
So it's server and someone else against the other guy, and he's the one that points. I don't know.
I'm not understanding you, Mark.
I know. It's
Tom? Is it Tom or Mark?
It's Tom. I'll be here 5 years from now. He'll be in the Bahamas, and people will be calling me Tom. I have no doubt about this.
Pays long to the done.
There you go.
Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in retirement,
Oh, more to say. Chuck has more to say. Oh, Lord.
Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments.
Is that a standard where the law firm actually says that they will be there? Or maybe they didn't have any kids or anything.
I don't know, but I bet you that is a huge moneymaker.
Find out what we can do for you.
What I'm talking about is the person over it. If there's 100,000 sitting there and you're leaving it to your kids, someone's got to manage that money until they're whenever you set it up.
Okay.
Like in us, our kids don't get shit till they're like 28 or something, whatever it is. Then they get something at 28, something at 35, whatever. But someone manages that money. Sometimes you set it up to where I think ours is like this. They get interest along the way, but they can't touch the principal until certain milestones. Like once you swear an oath to Trump.
Oh.
My nephew got a whole
I got to ask Salisbury the weirdest thing that's been in a will. Like
yes, you have.
You don't get any money until
if you do, or if you do this, you're out.
Yeah. If you transgender, no money for you. I wonder if you can even do stuff like that. I don't know.
You could. It's your money.
I got a nephew that got a bunch at 21, blew it all. He's probably 30 now.
Oh, I never.
That's nothing.
Nothing, no. Ours is
and hundreds of thousands he got. Blew it all, got me drugs.
What I'd like to do is find a good commercial rental property as I get older. I mean, not now. But then basically they get the rent off of it, minus the maintenance and stuff. Just the gift that keeps giving.
I grew up in a military family, and that's why it's important to me to remind veterans that
time to take advantage of the VA benefits.
So did Ross go to the doctor or what?
No, he's got it taped up pretty good, he said.
That's what he should tape it. He's got something to stay on it. And he's got to warm up.
I mean, what's the doctor going to say?
You're right. Just to make sure
Stay
that
on
it was a pull or
a tear.
But he didn't
My
warm
shoulder
up.
was great this time.
He didn't warm up at all. He just come right on there.
Well, he might have warmed up in the locker room.
Jumped in the hot tub with the fat guys.
Oh, that hot tub.
Oh. It's like soup on top of it.
It is just nasty. This athletic club we go to, it's old school, but man, there is old men walking around naked that should not be walking around naked at all.
No.
Kind of like going to Glenwood Springs. I love it, except for the guys in Speedos.
Oh,
There's always some 94-year-old man
in a Speedo.
Speedos is wrong?
When you're 94. Hell, in my opinion, when you're 24.
Yeah, I don't care what age. If you're not in a competition, take the Speedo off.
Take it off. You want naked?
There's no man that looks good in a Speedo. Put a pair of nice board shorts on, and you'll look a lot
I
better.
agree.
It's just gross.
All right, 303-713-8255. Bonnie Shields, tell me, men or women, which one is harder to deal with during the divorce? And you kind of gave it away a little. You started saying, I don't know, but men. Go ahead.
Are so wonderful. They are the most awesome people on the planet to work with. No, if men do something, it's a little more sneaky.
Oh, like what? Give me yeah, I know you can't use people, but give me an example of the sneakiest thing.
Like maybe not fully disclosing everything.
Like income or?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Things like that. Women play games with the kids.
I don't want you to see the kids.
And I will tell you this, the other one that I laugh about, I do a lot of free consultations, so this isn't coming from many of my actual clients if you're listening out there. But from the consultation people, I gets reported all the time. Men tell me all the time that their wife's bipolar.
Oh.
I don't know where they got their PhD from. And women tell me that their husband is a narcissist. He's suffering from narcissism. Those two diagnoses I hear a lot.
Not self-diagnosis, but the spousal diagnosis.
Sometimes they're probably real, but most of the time it's just, what I hear from the men is, my wife is bipolar. Some days she's in a really good mood and some days she's cranky.
Oh, man.
She must be bipolar.
My wife's always in a great mood. How could she not be?
Well,
it's the bio-tea.
No, that's crazy. I can see, I've always heard the kids thing. I mean, that I've heard from people I know that have been divorced. And during the divorce in the heated areas, the kids are used almost as a weapon. That probably happens quite a bit, doesn't it?
It is. What's tough is there are a lot of families where the mom's much more involved than the dad.
Yeah.
And then they go for the divorce, and the dad says he wants 50-50. And the mother thinks it's because that will lower his child support. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes dads that weren't very involved become really good dads when they don't get to see the kids as much, and the wife's not there to back them up. They actually, sometimes they really step up to the plate and become excellent fathers. Man. All right, Chuck called up and said he wanted to warn people about mistakes he made with his trust. We talked to him, but now he's got more to say. Chuck, say more.
Well, Dan, thank you very much. I love your show, by the way.
I'm Dan, I'm Tom, I'm Frank, I'm Henry, you're gone. How's that? What's Popeye say? It's all I can take. I
am what I am.
No, God, that's the total wrong one. Jeez, if you don't know, don't answer. That's all I can stand. I can't stand no mores. Ah, Lord. Sorry. What was his name? I don't know. Ralph. I'll call him Ralph.
Chuck.
He called me Tom. He called me Dan. He might have called me Bonnie at one point. I'm not sure. But let's just go from there. 303-713-8255. Kelly called up, said her ex-husband died 14 years ago. They got divorced. Her ex-husband died, and Black Hills is trying, and he's the only one that owned the house. I mean, they did everything right in the divorce. And Black Hills is trying to charge her $160 and change for the bill that was left when he kicked the bucket. I gave Deputy Dan marching orders to go in there and get it solved.
And I was marching.
Deputy Dan, did you solve it?
Well, it went to a call center people, so I gave them the information. They're going to call on back.
You know what? I'm disappointed in Deputy Dan.
This is all you can do,
Bonnie, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, do I pull away his man card? What do I do here?
I'd give him 10 or 15 minutes, and then he's out of here.
Try him again. Try him again. Bug him. We must have a media rep over there.
I can stand, and I can't stand no more.
That's it, Popeye. All right, listen, we've got a whole another hour coming up, and we've got a lot going on. We've got another will and probate question from Steve. There's something with an Adams County sheriff. I don't know what that is. And then hopefully Deputy Dan can step up and solve this Black Hills problem. I think he can. We'll find out very soon, right here on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-MARTINO, don't forget, and help@troubleshooter.com, where all of your dreams come true.
Attention.
Called back. I gave him the back line and
Who called back?
I said maybe they called back. Suzanne was talking to somebody there.
You know who I talked to last night? You ready for this? I get home for the 5th night in the week, our trash wasn't picked up. We're out in the country. 5th night in the week. All my neighbors gets picked up all the time. They have different trash companies. It's not like this neighborhood has everybody. So I've asked for this manager to call me 3 weeks in a row. Nothing back from him. And Friday was, our trash day is Friday. Friday comes, trash not picked up. Sometimes when they don't pick up on Friday, I understand the snowstorm, but we're talking the last 5 weeks. Sometimes when it's not picked up, they'll pick it up the next day. If there's a holiday, they'll pick it up on Saturday. So sometimes we get real lucky and they'll pick it up on Saturday. Other days, they have literally picked it up the following Thursday. Listen to what I'm saying. The day before they're supposed to pick it up, they pick it up. Manager never calls me back. Finally, I have it because I came home last night. It still wasn't picked up, and something got into the trash. We're out in the woods. So I'm picking up trash, seething. I call up, manager's not available, leave another message. I decide to get on and figure out where corporate is. I get through to the CEO, literally the CEO. He's got to be about 70 years old. It's a huge company called Holloway, and he's in California. I get through to him. A half hour later, I have a truck picking up my trash, and I have the manager apologizing. 5 weeks, oh, Bonnie.
But they're supposed to come this week, Friday, right?
Oh, they'll be here this Friday. The CEO gave me his home, or not his home number, his cell number, and says if there's ever an issue. And I don't call up going, hey, I'm on the radio. I called up, once you get through to the right person, you just got to be direct but civil. But like 5 weeks, guys. And the guy won't call me back. The biggest part, I wish they'd tell me, hey, we don't have a lot of customers out there. You know, would you mind finding another trash company? Or an employee didn't show up, or we fired somebody, or we're shorthanded, or but nothing.
It's 5 weeks in a row.
5 weeks. And it's the third time we've been picking up trash, because that's the killer. That's when you really think about it. It's when you're out there picking up crap.
Hey, it happens.
It happens.
Should have had Dan call.
Yeah.
After the first week.
Yeah.
That's right. See, did you give him a callback number?
Did you get through to him?
No. Same thing.
Don't you find that outrageous under any circumstance, unless that woman is lying? Even if it was 10 years.
It's outrageous.
14, yeah. No, they have no legal to go after it. None.
Yeah, but they're threatening to cut hers off. They have her by the balls.
I told her that and stuff, but there's no way that they can. I mean, we'll get through. But here's the other thing is, why wouldn't they go after the house? The people who own the house. So, because I imagine the guy sold.
Tell Kelly we'll call her back. You can free that line up.
Did you hang up on that guy that called you all the wrong names?
On Chuck?
What?
Yeah,
you hung up on Chuck?
Yeah, he called me freaking Bob or something again.
Dan.
What do you say?
It should be. It's a compliment. You said thank you, Chuck.
God. Oh, 60.
Then one day he came home and gave me a night I will never forget. He told
formula, not the drill, that changed our life.
A night I will never forget. 5 minutes I will never forget.
What's that?
What?
I shouldn't say that.
What is it? What is it?
She said my husband came home and gave me a night I'll never forget, and I said, you mean 5 minutes you'll never forget.
Oh.
maybe 7.
Maybe 7?
On a good night.
Now, to get a free bottle of Noctitrail, call 800-993-0840. 800-993-0840. Free bottles for limited time. Call now. 800.
Oh, you can get some for free, too.
800-993-0840. Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
Man, Farmers owns this station. It's because we're always nailing them. They call that counterintelligence or counter something.
At Farmers Insurance, we know every windshield collision has a unique sound.
You advertise a lot.
Bird poop. Drone.
Bird poop.
Covered it. Talk to Farmers.
All right, PriceFixerDenver.com. You've got to go there. PriceFixerDenver.com. They make buying a new furnace or air conditioner as easy as ordering a pizza. They've got the best guarantees out there. They sell the #1 selling furnace and air conditioners in the country at the guaranteed lowest price, along with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. PriceFixerDenver.com. Please check them out. If you have any other estimates out there for a new furnace or a new air conditioner, go to PriceFixerDenver.com. Answer a few simple questions, and you're going to see. Their pricing is so transparent, even on the service side. If you call them up, they don't charge a trip charge. They don't charge a diagnostic fee. And a lot of repairs are as low as $79. $79 for a lot of furnace and AC repairs. PriceFixerDenver.com. PriceFixerDenver.com. Changing the way people buy and sell air conditioners. I don't know why I said buy. I have no idea why I said buy and sell. No idea. Buy and sell. Yes, it's some kind of auction.
Maybe they'll buy the old one.
God, why did I do that? I was going to keep that spot up until right there. Son of a bitch. Damn it, Dan.
I know.
You screwed me again.
You be damned.
Dan Miller here.
Here's a caller said, haha, Chuck just called Mark Dan. His full name now is Tom Dan Mark.
No, Mark's not even there. It was Tom Dan Bonnie.
He should be very complimented getting called Dan.
Well, of course I am. I feel great about it.
Yeah, hung up on him.
Oh, buy and sell. Why did I do that?
Hey, Mark said that you guys are going to buy a lot.
They are flooding with...
Are they getting locked?
No. Oh, they're dying. Are you kidding? Price Fixer's off the hook over there. My God, listen, seriously, no diagnostic fee, no trip charge. Your furnace breaks down, you call them, they come out for free. They have the lowest price pot, period, the lowest price. Their structure is like this. If it's this switch, this, there's like 50 things. If it's that, it's $79 plus the part. You know, the part could be $1, it could be $50, whatever it is. Yeah. Then if it's this, or this, it's like $129 plus the part. That's how their entire pricing structure is. And if you don't want to fix it, you don't pay them anything. No trip charge, no diagnostic fee. If you have it fixed, Bonnie, listen to this. If you do have it fixed and you get a quote from someone else after the fact, either on a new unit or service, and they're cheaper, they'll refund the difference and give you $100.
Wow.
Who is this?
PriceFixerDenver.com. Price Fixer. It's a national company, but they're growing a huge franchise out here. I'm serious. They are changing the way people are they're changing the industry.
Oh, yeah. I just got to call them for a totally new install. You know, where I didn't have a furnace there before. What they'll do.
Did they quote you?
No, I got it.
That's going to be different because you're going to have duct work.
Yeah.
You might be able to do that yourself.
I can do a lot of it myself.
You might think of those Mitsubishi split systems too, man.
What's that? What's a split system?
Oh, you're right. Their heat's not very well. You don't have to have, you put one in each room.
Oh.
It's split up. But you know what? It's going to cost you more. Because you said you're just basically going to have a few vents downstairs.
Right.
But up in the mountains, heat comes down, I was trying to tell you.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Only in the mountains.
Above 6,000 feet, cool air rises.
That's right.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, try to make yourself just a little bit better. We try to make your life better. We try to reclaim money if you've been ripped off. We have a few things we're working on. Not a lot of really aggressive stuff today. The more I think about Black Hills, though, Black Hills Electric, this is really irritating. And I'll just recap it real quick because we're hoping for a call back. But if anybody works for them out there, my God, how can they justify threatening to turn this woman's electric, and I don't know if she gets just gas, but gas and electric, off from Black Hills? I can't imagine why they would threaten her. Her and her husband got divorced over 14 years ago. The house was in his name for the last 14 years, in his name only. Now he's dead. They're coming after her, who doesn't live there, lives in her own house, has her own account. If she's telling the truth, Black Hills, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't. I can't even justify if it was 2 or 3 years. Now, if we find out the caller is giving us wrong information, that would change my opinion on it. But based upon what she said, this is outrageous. Outrageous. Steve's got a question for our guest. By the way, Bonnie Shields, attorney at law, family law. God, it's amazing how much you cover. Real quick, then we'll go to the caller. But, of course, divorce, child custody. Give us other stuff, other topics that come into your life or through your phone every day.
Adoptions, step-parent adoptions, or other types of... I only do step-parent adoptions. I don't do regular adoptions.
That's cool.
Step-parent adoptions.
Is that very common?
No, I probably do one a year.
Younger children, like really young?
Yeah, usually. Well, no, you know what? A lot of times they're teenagers by then, and the bio dad is either in prison or just hasn't been around for many years, or bio mom. I've had them with moms, too.
How does that work, Bonnie? You just said prison. If a couple has 50-50 custody and one of them ends up in the pokey, do they have any rights once they're in prison? If they're there for, a couple of years or whatever?
No, you can't,
you can't parent.
You have to bring the kids to visit me or something like that.
Got it. So that's going to be completely up to the other parent visitation. How about if they wanted to move out of state at that point? Do they still have to go in front of the court and say, hey, we want to move?
Yes.
Can they, a lot of times, if that happened and someone's in prison for a long sentence, could the person go in front of the judge and say, the person that has custody, not in prison, could they say, Your Honor, we want 100% now, and do they generally get it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Do they give an attorney to the person in prison? If he's not out working, he has no access to any money, most likely. If they're trying to change custody, does the state give, or federal for that matter sometimes, do they actually pay for an attorney?
You know, this case, Tom gave me this case you're talking about. I mean, a case with similar facts last spring. We did it where the father of the child was going to be in jail for a long time on child pornography or something like that. And the mom was going to wanted to marry, or I think was married, remarried, and he wanted to adopt the child.
Wow.
And the state, there was some special law I didn't even know existed, and they did give the dad in prison, he got an attorney. He ended up just agreeing to the adoption.
But they were going to pay for his attorney.
Yes.
That's outrageous.
He got one appointed to him. But there was some special rule in that case. Normally, if someone's in prison and you want to change parenting time, they have no access. They're not
they're
going to get a
cooked.
free attorney.
And they should be, because they have no access to the kid. They can't leave.
Right, right.
All right, Steve, what's your question for Bonnie Shields?
Bonnie, I was married for 27 years, and we went through a nasty divorce, and my ex-wife got to keep her pension, which is a very healthy pension. I didn't have a pension. I got to keep the house. But anyway, I was told through the grapevine that, she retired, and she gets about $120,000 a year from her pension, but when she files for Social Security, I was told that I could go after half of her Social Security since I don't have a pension.
Steve, I got to ask you something just to clarify, then I'll let Bonnie talk. When you said 120, is that her total pension, or she's getting $120,000 a year?
She gets $120,000 a year from her pension.
Damn. Bonnie, I'd say he screwed up when he got divorced. Why wouldn't it come down to then?
Why didn't you get some piece of that?
You know what? I got the house, and I mean, there were several legal things that were involved.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
It was a nasty mess, and I was just trying to. I mean, I spent $100,000 in attorney fees.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
and that ate my 401k.
You're going to want to contact the Social Security Administration to verify this, but here's what I believe I know, and that is that if you were married for over 10 years, that when you go to claim your Social Security, you can draw off of hers rather than yours if she made more money than you. It's not like you really take half of hers away, but you'll get half of what, if half of what she's going to get is better than what you're going to get, you would have that option.
But it's got to be 10 years.
Right, you have to have been married 10 years. Doesn't matter how long you've been divorced.
Steve, the other thing is if she died and you were married more than 10 years, even if she had multiple husbands that were each 10 years, you could still get the death benefits, which is amazing. There's people out there getting, there's people out there that have 3 wives they were married to each for over 10 years, and each wife, after they died, actually still get the spousal benefits.
Okay, I'm a little confused. So if she gets, I mean, when she draws her Social Security...
We assume she maxed out. Is that fair enough? She's getting the maximum amount.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's just say the maximum is $4,000 a month. How much do you get in Social Security? Forget about her.
Well, I'm not retired yet.
Well,
let's say that she's going to get $2,000 a month, and that if you were able to retire today, you'd get $800 a month. Well, half of $2,000 is $1,000, so you would claim under her. I don't know how you do that.
Not under you.
Yeah, claim under her and not under you. You'll compare the two, and you'll take which
it's whatever is going to be more if you were married over 10 years.
Well, yeah, I was married for 27 years.
Well, then you're fine. So if hers are higher and you're going to end up getting paid more, you would choose that direction. It's going to be completely up to you.
So when she retires, I can submit something to Social Security to direct some of that money my way.
Yeah, I mean, most accountants would be able to help you with this.
Right. It doesn't reduce what she's going to see every month. It's just going to increase what you see. And I don't know if you have to wait for her to retire if she's older than you. You need to contact Social Security.
No, but he's got to retire.
Right, you have to retire, but contact Social Security Administration and check out the timing of that.
How old are you, Steve?
60.
Yeah, so he's got a few years anyhow. You might, I wonder if he would choose to wait just like anybody. Dan, do you know?
Well, that's up to him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right.
It's even if it's spousal benefits.
Right.
So, but she's probably got to be retired, right, Bonnie? She's got to be collecting Social Security.
I'm not positive of that.
I would think so, but you're right. I don't know either. That'd be interesting. Maybe Eric could answer that. Hold on. I don't know if we're going down a rabbit hole, though, Steve. Does that help you?
Well, not really, because she's 61.
Okay.
And she's getting her pension, which is about $120.
Okay, you have nothing to do with the pension, according to you, though.
But I'm trying to figure out if I can go after some for Social Security.
Oh, my God, I'm going to freaking hang myself. Steve, listen, I put you on hold. I'm going to explain it one more time. Yes, you can. If you were married more than 10 years, you can choose between what you deserve in Social Security or what you would deserve because you were married to her. You would most likely choose the higher amount. Bonnie, please clarify, because apparently I can't say it properly.
Right, so you're not going after, take those words out of your vocabulary. What it means is you might have two choices, claiming Social Security using your income history or using her income history, whichever one of those is going to get you more money, that's the one you'll choose. It's not going to affect her. So it's not something she can get angry about or something like that, or that you can feel you retaliated in some way. You're not going after anything. It's what you are entitled to.
It's your total choice, Steve.
And it doesn't change what she's going to get.
Yeah, and she has no say about it. She can't say, hey, I don't want him having any of my Social Security, because really you're not taking any. You're just using the spousal benefit. I hope that helps, honestly. Sorry I got frustrated with you, but you're frustrating. Frank Duran, the real estate man, how are you?
I'm good, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Frank. You know what? I think you are, and I mean this, the best negotiator I know out there. What I like about your company is regardless of how many team members, how many homes you are selling or buying at any given time, and you did it for me, you're doing it for Tom. Actually, you did it for me twice. You've done it for Tom even probably more times. But every single deal, unless if something's changed, you personally negotiate.
That's right, Mark. Personally, every single listing. In fact, we just closed one this morning. They had it listed with a company that said they would do it for a discount rate, and the company had it on the market for nearly 90 days. It never sold, and they promised the seller they were going to save them thousands of dollars to list the home with them because they do it at a discount rate. These people, thank God, they called me, and I stepped in. We sold it in days. We negotiated a great deal, but even on top of that, guess what they had to fix at the inspection, Mark?
Nothing.
Nothing. We negotiated it down to nothing. So not only do we negotiate a great deal on the front end, on the back end, we know how to leverage you to position you in a better position to not have to fix a lot of things at the inspection.
You know, I argue this with people all the time. These places, Frank, like Redfin's one, I'll use them by name because my parents used Redfin years ago trying to sell a house. It sat and got stale on the market to where they basically pulled it off. A realtor came in. It wasn't you because I didn't know you at the time, but a realtor that knew what they were doing came in and got the thing sold. I hate these discount prices, these one-price places, because they don't throw any advertising budget at it. When you sold my house, you came in, you did a 3D walkthrough. You just did the same thing for Tom. You had 75,000 people from New York to California look through my house the day that video went up. That video went on to Zillow. You spend money to advertise on Zillow. You spend money to advertise on Realtor.com. You spend money everywhere. The reason these discount brokers can do it is because they don't spend any money. You even send in a cleaning crew.
Well, Mark, and I'll tell you, too, there's never gimmicks, no gimmicks, no shortcuts with us. And I've always said this. There's simply no substitute for drive, discipline, passion, and experience, and I live this business. When people put me to work, that's what they get.
You know, thanks, Frank. And people listening, I swear to God, what you hear from Frank Duran is what you get. It's simple as that. What you hear is what you get. He is so legit, he doesn't quit, or whatever rhyme. No joke, though, he's the best.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
That rhymes.
1 minute, Ideal Home Run. Stop and go there between Alameda and Colfax. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Coming out of the tech center, northbound I-25 slow from 225.
I'm wondering if that guy, but would have been written in his divorce decree, was asking if he could just go after the Social Security because he didn't get any pension. I mean, just the actual money.
Of course not.
From her.
Yeah.
That was all done in the decree.
Right.
He made a piss poor choice.
Yeah, but
Although we don't know the other things going on.
Yeah.
Plus, honestly, you sounded like he was intoxicated.
49. Traffic and weather.
You got a good ear if you
Well, he was rambling at some point. He was going on and down.
And the go after it sounds to me like it's kind of sour grapes.
Right now? Okay, hold on, guys. So Brent Ivinson with Ideal Home Loans, you know, I'm going to say this for him. They're a great company over there, absolutely a great company. But if you have an interest rate over, 4% right now, you need to really start thinking about getting qualified right now either for a refi, and if you have any kind of credit card debt or any kind of high interest, my God, you definitely want to do some form of a refi so you can pay off that high interest. I mean, that's a no-brainer, period, end of story. But if you're in a 30-year, and I stress this, stress it, if you're in a 30-year and have some cash flow right now because the economy's good in your life, please call Ideal Home Loans and talk about a custom term loan. If you went to a 15, for an example, and you've got 15 years left on your 30, you could save so much money it's going to blow you away. It's going to blow you away in interest. Please reach out to idealhomeloans.com. That's idealhomeloans.com, or call them at 303-867-7000.
Let's talk about addiction. It's not something we want to talk about ever.
Okay, so Shawnee's back because now Kelly's texting her threatening to sue.
Well, come on and talk about it.
Yes, so I texted Kelly saying, look, Shawnee's coming back on the air to say you're texting threatening to sue. If you want to comment on air, call us back. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm not trying to stir shit or anything.
you are.
No, I am not a
That's Dan's job.
It's like junior high.
It's like junior high.
Oh, Welcome Back, Cotter.
To me, Shawnee sounds very combative.
After I want Welcome Back, Cotter
Shawnee
theme
was,
song.
the
After I
caller.
talk to Shawnee again.
To me, she sounds like a very combative type person.
Who?
Shawnee.
You know, I was telling Mark there, they had the dog 8 months, and as soon as something happens, she wants to get rid of it. There was no bonding there at all with that dog.
Yeah. Somebody made a comment that with a dog who has an owner that sounds like that, they're always going to be on the defensive. But I don't know dogs that well.
You got dogs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or you're a cat person?
I'm a cat
You know
person.
cats.
He's a dog person.
Our animals all get along. They all get along.
And normally they do, as long as they're growing up together, even cats and dogs and stuff. But this was the thing about it is the dog got along with her other dog. It's when she brought in her daughter's dog that they didn't get along.
I wonder if we have, I guess I can bark pretty good.
Yeah.
Can you bark?
No.
Let me hear you bark.
Meow.
No,
Meow. Did he say meow? Did he meow yet? He did.
We've got a cat that doesn't meow. It squeaks. Orangey goes. "Ah!" That's it. "Ah!"
You need a new cat.
It's the weirdest thing, man. He's like normal in every way, but he doesn't meow. He goes, "Ah!"
Sounds like a chicken.
Did you see that pigeon sold for $1.4 million?
What?
A pigeon.
For why?
As a racing pigeon.
A Chinese guy bought it. It's a racing pigeon. It just won some race. I didn't even know they had racing pigeons.
You do now. Look what you learned.
Maybe that's what I'll invest in with my trust.
Man, you better. Geez, how long does a pigeon live?
I don't know. You better make a lot of money.
Put some insurance on that baby.
Oh, maybe a guy in China bought it. Maybe it's a DNA play.
So you control yours with a smart.
Didn't think of that. A clone. If he's got 1.4 to pay for a pigeon, he can clone something. He could probably mix it with a pig.
So pigs can
It'd
fly.
be a pigeon.
But then pigs can fly.
That would, imagine a big heavy pig trying to get off the ground and it can't.
Not a racing. Won't be a racing one.
It's a racing piggin. Actually, do you have welcome back up?
Ah, yes. Operator.
We used to listen to this as kids, didn't we, Mark?
We did.
Could you help me place this call?
All right, 303-713-8255. I don't know. I try to see what fits me better. Do you think it's operator or master of puppets? I don't know. I'm still up in the air about this whole thing. 303-713-8255. I'm going to go to Steve, then Shawnee. Shawnee called the first hour. Oh, my God. Just recapping this thing takes like 15 breaths. She calls the first hour. She adopted the dog about 8 months ago. Fast forward 8 months. The dog she adopted attacks her daughter's dog that was over visiting for the day. Dog got ripped up pretty good. We saw the pictures. Dog got ripped up pretty good. Dog's alive. Dog will be okay, but got ripped up pretty good. The dog she adopted also had heartworms. Heartworms generally are never anywhere in Colorado, at least that I know of, and I know most people would agree with that. If you have dogs, you probably have never had heartworms if the dog's always been in Colorado. I'm not saying always. She returned the dog, or attempted to return, and ultimately did return the dog to the shelter where she got the dog. They charged her $210 to get rid of the heartworms because the dog ended up having heartworms. She's saying the dog must have had heartworms where she adopted them 8 months ago. But the plot thickens. Wait till you hear the new update we'll get to in a minute. Steve, what's going on with you, though? Steve.
Mark?
Yes, sir. How are you, sir? Thank you.
Good. Thank you. I have a friend that's 80 years old, and she owns a house. She's got a little bit of a mortgage, but not much. She has a medically disabled son that's in his 50s that lives with her.
Okay.
She doesn't have a will, and she's trying to figure out what to do. She has 2 other adopted kids that are somewhat estranged. They're adults, of course, and have kids of their own. They're somewhat estranged, and she has been told that if she were to will the house to her son that lives with her, who doesn't have employment and could not maintain a house once she's gone because he doesn't have enough.
Yeah, he's going to need a caregiver, it sounds like.
He doesn't have enough disability income and stuff to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Even though he does get a disability pay. And she doesn't know where to go, but she doesn't have a will or anything. And I'm just wondering if there's someone that can help her as far as sorting out what he is allowed to have as far as any kind of fiscal asset.
Yeah, and here's what I love, Steve.
Still maintain the help that he needs medically and, you know, Medicare, whatever.
Yeah, Steve, here's what I would do. I mean, there's a couple things here, but ultimately you need to talk to David Salisbury. I bring his name up a lot. You really need to talk to him, and here's what I like about him. He can talk about wills. He can talk about a trust. He can talk about anything. I have no idea how much she has, how much value, how much equity in the house, or anything like that. But those are things she's going to have to figure out, then call David. But what's cool about David, and really, Suzanne and I went to David and said, here's our situation. We want to do a trust. We don't want the kids getting all the money if we happen to die tomorrow, you know, when they hit a milestone like 28, 35, 45, whatever. But he gives us one flat rate price, and he does that for everybody. So he'll talk to her for free over the phone. But have her know these questions, like real basic questions. How much do you own the house? How much are in bank accounts? You know, how much does she have? And then what kind of care this kid's going to need going forward. Have those questions answered for when he asks them, but he'll say, okay, here's what we should do. It'll cost you X amount, and that's exactly how much it'll cost you, and then she'll be all set.
Okay. Yeah, she's got a little bit of a Social Security and a small pension from her dead husband.
Okay.
And so she's not really in a good financial position.
How much equity's in that house?
Oh, I don't know. I would say the house is probably worth about $200 because it's in a state of...
Yeah, but how much does she owe on it?
I think it's only $20,000.
Okay, so she's got some equity there. More than anything, she probably wants to use that equity, and this is what David will do to help her son survive. And you're right, it's not going to be in that house. If it was my kid and it was in there, I would be looking at a long-term, pretty much a trust, saying, okay, you know, let's invest it in this, and then this money goes towards his living at a facility, because he's going to end up in a facility, man.
Right, he is.
Which is fine. There's good facilities out there. I don't mean anything negative there either. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But she needs to call David Salisbury. Hold tight. Suzanne, give him Salisbury's direct info. Did you use David? Or you already had that
No,
stuff?
I don't, but I got David's number right here.
Oh, what is it? Go ahead.
720-493-3911.
All right. 303-713-8255. By the way, Bonnie Shields, attorney at law, in studio with us. Any family law questions you got, adoption, anything. Anything you've ever wondered and don't know, call. I'll tell you when the line drops. Karen, what's going on?
Hello?
Yes, Karen, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. Well, I'm having trouble. I wanted to see if you guys could use your expertise to help me.
What you got?
I've been trying to get Vonage to transfer a number to Total Wireless since the 5th of March, and they keep giving the Total Wireless the runaround that the zip code's not right, and they just keep
well, they should port the number. There's no doubt. In fact, the Fed stepped in at one place and said, hey, you can't hold people hostage. So hold on. What we got to dig into is, are they trying to hold you hostage, or is there truly something there? But hold tight. 303-713-8255. Let's take a quick break.
This is Denver's talk station.
Is there any more water in there?
Did I open this?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Oh, there's one up here. One.
Oh, is there? Yeah. I think he's bringing me one in, too. Thanks, dude.
Next place here.
Yeah.
You saw that.
You're good. You pay attention. What about video games? You playing video games?
All the time. Rotting my brain away.
What do you play?
No, I don't really play
No,
anymore.
he doesn't.
I used to play FIFA and NHL back in college, but none of the shooter stuff since Modern Warfare back in the day.
Oh, I play zombies.
Yep, still zombies. I was horrible with that game always. I've got that. If you want to go to that one lady, I've got Welcome Back Cotter up whenever you want. If you want to bump back with it,
I want you to come back with it, and I'll go to her.
Okay, cool.
He's so freaking good.
You realize I tell him what music to come up with.
No. But also on his own. He did Who Lets the Dogs Out.
No, he didn't.
Oh, you did that?
Dan, come on.
Okay. I didn't hear you say anything.
He is good, though.
It is good. He comes up the whole time.
But no, he wouldn't know that song. God, he's what? 12? How old is he?
12.
I'm telling you, he's the best board op I've ever dealt with.
I've never
Bar none, the best board op I've ever dealt with.
I've never realized what a board op did.
Oh, yeah.
With Drew.
Board op, what is it?
That's what Grant
board
does.
op, like you're operating the board.
Right.
Okay.
So in most
What's a
shows,
board op?
unlike ours, we also have a full producer, Suzanne. But most shows, like Before and After Us, they just have one person, a board op.
Okay.
Who answers the phone, does all that stuff.
Does everything.
Oh, we're gonna get JD in here when Ross is.
Troubleshooter, please hold.
We gotta get JD in here when Ross is gonna be on beforehand. When you're in there.
Tell me when, man. Ross doesn't care.
Do you come in every day with Ross? At the
Usually.
end?
As long as I'm on time.
I don't think that's usually.
Most of the time. Sometimes. I'm supposed to cross over every morning. I'm not the best. I'm not the best.
He was talking about his son this morning. He's into the Fortnite.
Oh my God. Tom's kid's into Fortnite.
I know.
Mine was for 5 seconds.
My son said he didn't like it. But he's older too.
Bondage, there's no reason they should not be porting a number. Even if you owe them money, porting a number, I believe, is a must-do
It's
these
getting
days.
ported to Vonage, I believe.
Yeah, the other company, whoever it is. No, I thought it's from Vonage.
Well, Vonage is internet.
Doesn't matter. Can you do this?
I don't even want to do that.
How about this?
Well, I got that going, just like a lane.
That's not bad. Look at that. See that, Bonnie?
What?
Watch what he can do. He can bend that with his mind. He can also tell you where you got your
Are we
shoes.
dumb or what?
No, I said that men are. My husband texted me. Men are wonderful? Question mark.
Just not him.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't respond. That's
Am I back up?
I would bet sometimes it's depressing doing your job.
Stressful. That's not depressing.
Well, if you see the kids and stuff aren't getting, that they're battling
That's,
over it.
or if you have two idiot parents.
Yes.
And your plant's just as bad as the other side. That does happen.
I think if you had, I only have 2 kids. Well, let's say you had 4. I say you leave the least favorite, like 5%.
But no, I'm
Because
serious.
no, you're not listening to me. My kids, only 2 of them drive me insane. This would be my way of driving them all insane after I'm dead. It would be the get-backs.
What I see is that if you don't leave everybody the same or close to the same, you just, those kids from as soon as the parents die, will always hate each other.
I'm just thinking of my grandparents and everybody. I don't know anybody that wasn't equally cut in. I mean, it seems one had 7 kids, split 7 ways. The other had 4 or 5, split 4 or 5 ways.
Unless you have one that's like, say, totally into drugs or
something.
So, but you gotta
literally just
Then you do something with the trial.
like a liberal.
Like if he's liberal.
Any Democrat? No.
If they don't wear the
they have to register as
You
a
have to ask David Salisbury about unusual things.
I do, because it's true. I wonder how weird you can get.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Brewster's Millions?
I don't remember.
It's with Richard Pryor. So this guy dies, and leaves them $100 million, but he's got to spend $10 million with nothing to show for it in like a week. So you can't buy an airplane because that would be an asset.
Right.
So like one of the things he does is he hires the Yankees, I think it was, for a baseball game against his company. So
just go to Vegas.
I don't think you could gamble.
So you're not wasting your time. You'll see if it's in your budget, or they can adjust it to get into your budget. After that, you visit the showroom, pick out what you want, and he'll get you a specific price that will not change. Serving Denver Metro and the entire mountain.
She better watch driving. That's my issue with that. That's it. I can't say anything else about it. Her car will be gone if there's another issue. Kids think 13 seconds into the future. If they have to think about something 30 seconds in the future, forget about it.
That's no doubt. I mean,
what's wrong for them?
Unless they're in a position like you and Suzanne were, where you see the consequences right away if you don't think. You know, when you guys moved into the, I mean, you grew up fast. That made you grow up.
It's because my mental capacity is much higher.
That too. Oh,
Keep coming up with the 70s stuff.
Come back to that same old place that you laughed about.
Shawnee, this song's for you. What's going on now?
Oh, welcome back. I didn't think I'd be on back so soon.
I'll bring you up. What's going on? You say here that the woman from the shelter, Kelly, is now texting and threatening you.
Saying that she's suing me and does she want to...
What is she suing you for? I'm curious.
That's what I would like to know.
Well, how would I know?
Well, here's the deal, Mark. So I texted Kelly.
Yes.
Shawnee, listen, I texted Kelly telling her you were on to talk about this.
Yes.
And what I got back was we cannot comment on pending litigation, but we can tell you that it does not have anything to do with your show. So I don't know what happened, Shawnee.
No, what it is she said
yes.
that I put out there misleading information and that I falsified something.
Well, I don't know, Shawnee, but what do you care, honestly? I mean,
well,
honest to God, you paid, listen, I want to give you a real talking to, okay? Listen, you already paid the $210. You had the dog for 8 months. It's going to be impossible to prove if it had heartworms before or after, and you already said you didn't care. You got the word out that you were upset that this dog was still listed up for adoption after it attacked your other dog, so you say. They're always going to say, it's all hearsay is all I'm saying. Really, all this comes down to is, in my opinion, I'm not an attorney, but it's all hearsay on both your sides. You were upset you called up. I don't think you trashed them. I really don't. You know, and I don't think they trashed you either. So it's all good in love and war. I would let it go. This is going to eat you alive.
What I want to do,
Okay, what do you want to do? Go ahead.
What I want to do is find out
yes.
if she can sue me.
I can sue Dan because he's ugly.
What?
Okay.
You can sue anybody for anything.
She's saying that I my post that I put on Two Blondes Rescue saying that my dog was attacked.
Yep.
That it
listen, when it comes to stuff like that, once again, I'm not an attorney. This isn't legal advice. But when it comes to, let's take this into something I deal with all the time. Reviews. If you leave a review about a company, and I'll give you an example of one. If someone said, I don't like so-and-so company, I hired them, and they're child molesters. Well, if they're not child molesters, and there hasn't been a conviction or something about being a child molester, yeah, your ass could be in a lot of trouble. If you said, I hired this company and didn't like them because, you know, a week later they had to come back and fix something again, if you tell the truth, you're fine, okay? Right. In general. Right. Bonnie Shields, attorney at law.
Okay, so here's what she's probably alluding to, that's my guess, is filing a case for libel or slander. Libel is when somebody puts something into writing that's a false statement that hurts the reputation of someone else. Slander is if you spoke it. So if you'd said something on the air today that she thought that you lied, that could be slander, and if you wrote a post, that could be libel. However, she would have to be able to prove that
there's damages, right?
No, that you knew it was false. if you do something that you think is true, in your heart of hearts, you think it's true, you can say it. You can say it. It's only if you know something's a lie and you say it anyway.
No,
that's
no.
when you're
Everything
in trouble.
I said,
Shawnee, that's why we're telling you this.
I think she's threatening it because she's upset.
She's threatening me, and I'm sick of it.
But Shawnee, on her behalf, because she's not coming on, but on their behalf, I have to say this. Listen, they took the dog back. They're doing everything. They're gonna tell the entire story of the dog, she told us, to whoever ends up adopting it. Let it go.
Tom, you don't know.
Yeah, Tom.
Yes.
Why would they have the dog back up for adoption on her website if they didn't have an intention of not adopting the dog?
She said it has to be in quarantine for 60 days. That's what she said.
Then take it down off the website until it's been treated.
Yeah, but maybe she's just trying to get. She's just trying to get. Okay, Shawnee, listen. You know what? I'm done. I'm done. Tom's done. Tom's done.
I've stood all I can stand, and I can't stand no more.
Jeez, Shawnee, in all seriousness, listen, if she sues you, get with an attorney, okay? But listen, if you didn't lie, and this goes for everybody out there, if you write a review about someone, you can't lie. You can't. We had the pawn store, the, what was it, Evergreen?
Golden Pawn.
Golden Pawn in Evergreen, who's now out of business, by the way.
At least there.
Yeah, so what happened with that, Dan? What did they write? One guy wrote a review saying these guys, what?
We're bad.
They're bad.
They yell at you.
They yell at you.
Right.
And they do. According to multiple people, they do. But keep going.
And then, so he wrote one on there that this guy was a
child molester,
certified child molester,
a convicted child molester.
Yeah.
So the owner of the store turned around because this guy left what we believe is a real review, saying, "Here's why you shouldn't use this place. Here's my experience." The owner turned around because he commented on Yelp about him and said, well, don't listen to this guy, anybody out there, because this guy's a convicted child molester. Put his name, address, and phone number up.
Put everything out there, right?
Yeah, see, something like that, unless if he was, and we did a background check on the guy, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He could go after him for libel. But, Bonnie, you would still have to have damages at some time. I mean, I can't...
Right, you have to have damages,
yeah.
And you also have to be able to prove that they knew that it was false.
That's correct.
That's a pretty hard one to do.
Yeah, that is, especially in what we're talking about here with the dogs.
Right. It's in her opinion. She stated her opinion in writing, and that's her opinion, and she's not going to get...
And can a nonprofit even have damages?
All a nonprofit means is at the end of the tax year or the end of their tax year, they can't have any profits in the corporation. The people that work or own the corporation take all the money. It's really just a tax deal. That's all it is for a nonprofit, a standard nonprofit. Okay. Kent, what's your question for Bonnie? Then Karen, I promise I'll get back. Kent.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, I was married for 20 years, and my wife put in for some of my Social Security, which I guess she got.
Yep.
And I was wondering if she's in para, she was a school teacher.
Hell, that's an interesting question.
That's a great question.
My God, we rarely get that great of a question. So, does she get both, Bonnie? I think this is more of an accountant question.
Yeah, or a Social Security
question. Yeah, because, okay, hold on.
I don't know.
Let's simplify this. If I worked for 20 years as a blah, 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 and I paid in Social Security X amount for 20 years, then I become a school teacher in Denver and go through para for 15 years, I would get both. Why wouldn't I?
You would get both because you paid into both systems.
So she probably will get both. But, Kent, that doesn't affect you, or are you just kind of pissed off she's getting some of yours?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I got you.
I was just wondering is it just the woman that can get
I want to make sure. This is a great question. I want to make sure. Suzanne, let's see if we can get Eric on. I'd love to know that. Karen, what you said, Vonage, right, is who currently has your phone number you're trying to port over?
Yes.
And who are you trying to port it to?
Total Wireless.
In Total Wireless, really all that happens on a port is Total Wireless reaches out to whomever, or, you know, this could be any companies, and they provide a certain amount of information. Then it's supposed to be done. I do not believe they can hold it up over past due billing or anything like that. Now, if it's been canceled, maybe, but I don't think they can hold you hostage anymore. So there must be something going on, like a bad password, a bad name. You mentioned the zip code. Is the zip code correct?
Yes, and I have corrected it. I went on my profile. I'm up to date on paying them.
Everything.
They've sent me emails.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Suzanne, get her info. This one's for Deputy Daff. I bet Deputy Daff solves this tomorrow. Hold tight, because this is going to take a phone call, and she is great, literally great at sitting on hold and getting this stuff. We have Eric Reinemere with Atlas CPAs to answer Ken's question right after these messages.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
Mark, 1 minute, budget A1, 30 spot.
Budget.
25 approaching Hamden, up to the left shoulder, but fire crews are blocking the left.
Is that my last? Bills paid!
A guy just called in on Prestige Auto. He did that same thing with that, it's called Secure Guard. If it gets stolen, they give you that. They said they put it on every car and they won't let them take it off.
It's crap, man.
Prestige Auto is terrible. Terrible.
If your car, what is it? If your car gets stolen in the first month, we'll give you some. That's it. Okay, what happens if it's stolen and it gets recovered? I'd like to read about that. No, I don't, because it's a stupid, it's mop and glove.
It is mop and glove. Costs him $600.
Okay, listen, you have a written estimate by a legit transmission shop. Will budget A1. We'll beat it by 10% or $250. Also, if you have any transmission problem and you go anywhere, they're going to say, hey, that's $500–600 to tear it down. Guess what? Budget A1 won't charge you a cent for the estimate. They'll tear it all the way down, tell you exactly what you need, and it won't cost a cent. BudgetA1.com. Actually, it's budget-a1.com, or give them a call, 303-781-9858. And I want to say this in all honesty. I've known Mark, the owner over there, Mark Machowski, for a long time. Mark will take care of you, and this is no baloney. If you have a transmission problem, you bring it over there, and I promise you, they won't charge you a cent to diagnose it and rip it apart. They'll give you all the details over there, but it's the real deal. 303-781-9858. I gave him a little love.
$500,000. How much would a traditional real estate agent charge you?
It is a hell of a deal. If I had a transmission problem, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners.
He said about, I think 8 out of 10 always get it done. So, and then the ones that don't, pretty much they don't have to put the whole thing back together, but they explain all that.
Yeah. In the box.
In the box. Don't make me do the walkout, Dan.
Yeah. I'm good at the walkout.
The walkout.
The walk-in is tough.
The walk-in is the hardest.
Insane amount of equity away to an agent. Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with a licensed local expert with you every step of the way.
That pair is that's a good question.
See if you qualify by
So the question would be, she never worked besides school for para.
What does government get, like, if you're a federal employee? Is that Social Security?
They get pension.
Well, that's probably true.
Now,
so with the exception of teachers' unions, is there anything else like para? Or is that just for different states?
Railroad.
They have their own deal?
Yeah.
So they don't pay in to Social Security?
Right.
What's it called?
Railroad.
Look it up real quick, because you'll make me look smart.
They offer 10, 13, or 18-year loans, really any term you need. It truly is a custom loan.
Bonnie, you want any, so free consultation, of course, on anything? What else? Any kind of special you want me to hit? Damn it, I threw away your number, though. Hold on. I got it right here. Go ahead.
Topics, you mean?
No, not topics. Anything to get your phone ringing. If you want to even talk price of it or mediation.
Let's do mediation.
Okay.
303-695-7000.
Free mediation with every divorce.
If I could do both of them, that would be great.
Which 5 adoptions free?
5 free adoptions with every divorce. No, buy 1 divorce, get an adoption free.
The cheapest mediation you can get is $140 an hour with the county, and I'm about to start doing some of those.
Oh, so you want me to advertise 140 an hour?
And each side pays half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the railroad's called RRB, Railroad Retirement Board. They have their own retirement, everything.
Wow, that is amazing. And I know where Kent's coming from. He's just pissed. because she's getting 2 and he didn't get part of her para.
And see, I do think that sucks because para gets divided when you get divorced,
Like,
but your Social Security doesn't. It's really unfair because someone will end up with 2.
and she probably did.
Para does not get divided, you said?
No,
Para
it does.
Oh, so this caller probably got his half whenever the divorce went.
Yeah,
Or
he
the
got
house
his portion
or
of her.
Oh, but maybe she wasn't even in the school system at the time.
That could be, or he waived it because he got the house, right?
Something like that, just like the last guy. You should have asked that guy how much was the house worth.
Yeah.
Maybe it was $1 million house. It better be for 120.
Even though 120 a year, no house gains equity like that. That's a heck of an asset to own.
I wonder where she worked.
Oh yeah, I want to apply there. Can you?
All right, 303-713-8255. Man, I've got a lot to do. Eric Reinemere with Atlas CPAs. Eric, Kent calls up. It's a crazy question, but it brought up a lot of thoughts in my brain here. So his ex-wife, okay, is going to get half of his. They were married. Hold on, let me pull him up. Hey, Kent, how long were you guys married? I'm sure it was over 10 years.
Yeah, it was like 25 years.
So she's going to get her spousal benefits because they were married over 10 years. You follow me there, right, Eric?
Yep.
She also is in the school system, I assume, and is going to get para. His question is, does she really still get her spousal benefits with Social Security, even though she's collecting retirement on para? And her benefits, I mean, are really because of him, the ex-husband.
Yeah, what happens is when you have para and Social Security, the spousal benefit, I think her spousal benefit may be reduced. It's kind of a complex formula, and I would suggest it's really a question for Social Security that if she's getting para and also some Social Security, that Social Security may be reduced. It's really a weird...
That's really what Bonnie was saying as well, but are you... Okay, how about like the RRB, the railroad, people that work for the railroad? It's like para, but it's for the railroad. Is it the same way?
It's the same deal where if you've never paid into Social Security, you're not going to get anything from Social Security except for this spousal benefit deal. But if you have 2 jobs, one is para or railroad, plus another job over some years with Social Security, you can get both, depending on how many years you put in those 2 separate buckets.
You know what's funny, Eric, is really it wouldn't affect Kent in any way. In other words, he's still going to get whatever he gets, end of story. He's just upset because he doesn't want the ex getting any extra money.
She might get a little bit of Social Security, but it gets reduced. There's this whole complex thing. It's called the government pension offset calculation that will reduce, and I'm reading here, it applies to para retirees who also get a Social Security spousal benefit. It will reduce the Social Security benefit by 2/3 of the para benefit and may completely eliminate the Social Security benefit.
All right, Eric Reinemere, he's with Atlas CPAs and Advisors. We use him here at the Troubleshooter Network. He does all of our accounting. These guys are great. If anybody out there needs a good accountant, you killed the number on me.
I did because it was wrong. It's 303-799-9111.
You rock. Ray's got a comment on para. Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, yeah, I'm a para retiree, and I taught 20 years, retired at 50% of my teaching salary, and was supposed to get $1,200 Social Security, but because of a federal law called the Windfall Profits Act,
you don't get it.
If you get a public retirement, I get like $400 or $500 a month
instead of a couple thousand or whatever.
Yeah, right.
That sucks, man.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, and you paid in. What kills me about that, and I argue this all the time, you paid into Social Security. You should get those benefits. Even if you paid into another thing like para, you still paid into Social Security. I don't like that. Margie, what's your comment?
Mine?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get any of my husband's Social Security benefits.
How long were you married?
Oh, well, I'm still married.
Oh, okay. You get zero?
Unless you pay into Social Security, the minimum number of years you're supposed to do that. I don't remember what it is.
Then you don't get anything.
Then you don't get anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Theirs.
But
you don't get any of theirs.
But the caller's wife and himself both paid in for all those quarters. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you, Margie. All right, I want to talk to Bonnie Shields. attorney at law. By the way, BonnieShieldsLaw.com. You'll talk to anybody either by email. You'll answer questions over email, right?
I will, Tom. That's what I do.
You are very funny, Bonnie. BonnieShieldsLaw.com. Listen, I'm going to give her phone number out too. She'll talk to you over the phone. But listen, if you're going through a divorce or thinking about a divorce, or if you both are talking to attorneys, if you're separated and might go down that way, this is real advice. Mediation is way cheaper. If you can get along enough to get things settled and you're both reasonable, Bonnie will save you a ton of money in mediation. You know, you're talking like $140 an hour versus $300 plus an hour on the attorney side, and there's 2 attorneys. If you guys can get along, I promise mediation is the best way. Give Bonnie a call. $140 an hour, you can't beat that. But call her with any family law questions. 303-798-1927. We always appreciate you being here, Bonnie. 303-798-1927. Bonnie Shields Law. What time's my out, Grant? 10 or 20? 10? See you tomorrow.
Thank you for all the plugs.
Of course.
And, yeah, let me know. I put that date for that comedy show down in my calendar.
I already emailed my lady. I'll hear her back today, I'm sure.
Lady? I thought Suzanne was your lady.
Nah, you were fine. I kind of like the ending music sometimes.
You sold it.
Let me see if I got it back here. Susan, Comedy Works. Here we go. Where is she? Sure, let me work on it. I think it'll be fine. So unless if it's some kind of weird thing where they sold out a year in advance or whatever.
Yeah, he's a pretty famous one, so maybe not as famous as like Sinbad, but he's good. I think he won last